Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We're gonna get started in a few seconds. We're gonna turn off my notifications, but welcome in everybody. We're gonna get started soon. We're gonna talk about the news. Hopefully everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. Tuesday. I'm gonna get started soon. I should start putting some background music once I get started, just to not have it be so silent, so empty. That's fine. We're gonna get started soon either ways. Everybody wants. Alrighty. So I noticed that this audio changes my voice for some reason, which is concerning. But if you guys want to know a little secret, I actually hold up the mic with a Pond's cream. No sponsor, just fun facts. But welcome into the live stream. If you're new, I'm Ellie, and today I'm going to be talking about sustainable fashion. I'm going to be talking about environmental related aspects of the industry, and then some social justice and like pop culture things. I live stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 to 7. I'll be here. I'm excited to get into everything that is happening in the industry. There's been a lot going on, to be honest, and it's surprising, but also not surprising because Willy Chavarria is in big trouble. Even though he's apologized, he is still in trouble. We'll get into how he's culturally appropriated his own, culture. My brain just kind of spaced there for a second. I also will talk about how Shein was fined for greenwashing. Not fun. But who's surprised? Who's surprised that they've been practicing greenwashing, and not me? And then we're going to be talking about how Claire's is once more bankrupt. This is not their first time being bankrupt, but it seems like this is the end. This is like the end of the story, basically. And then we're going to be talking about Gucci and how they're facing union disputes in Italy, specifically their welfare benefit program, which is so messed up. I didn't even know they had a union, which shows that unions are not popular in the industry, fashion industry specifically. We're going to be talking about how Shein is within old Forever 21 stores. Again, not surprised. They've been ruthlessly competitive, and so they've taken out their competition and replaced themselves in the malls. And also there's been a lot of conversations about the Doc Marten boots. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're so gorgeous and I want some. Sneak preview. These are everything. I love Doc Martens. I accidentally came across their brand when I was living in Montana, and I was like 27 years old, and I thought these were like random shoes, basically. I didn't know they had a hype. I didn't know they had like loyalty. I just thought like, oh, they're aesthetic. And my manager sold me a pair of Doc Martens for like $5 when they retail for like $100. And that's why I was under the impression that they were fake, but turns out they were real. They're a whole thing in itself, and they've released or will release new ladies fashion boots, and I love them. They're so cool. They look like Bratz boots, but like, more luxury, more better. They look really well made. Like, that leather looks real. And then we'll also talk about AI pricing within fashion brands, how some designers are selling feet pics to raise money for good causes, which is kind of morally contentious for me, but everyone has their free will and they decide to use it how they want. But yeah, that's what we're going to be covering essentially. I don't know if my picture, this thing over here, is too small. I can widen it. I usually make it smaller for my gaming live streams. I have not been on live stream for such a long time. But to show you how I structure my live streams, I'm gonna show you the Canva deck that I use. But basically, every time I go on live for Tuesday and Thursday, I use this Canva deck to organize my thoughts because I'm notoriously like absent-minded. Like I forget what I'm gonna say mid-sentence. Like right now, I was like, what was I talking about? I was like, I spaced out. I spaced out and I space out all the time. As you can see, I've been fixing the dates on there because I miss small details. But streams of collective consciousness, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find me on social media. And I usually talk about sustainable fashion. I recently changed a bit of my angle to more like pop culture things. I haven't really been talking about social justice, even though social justice is like part of sustainable fashion. But I find myself gravitating more towards like pop culture. And I'm like, I don't want to keep quote unquote lying to everyone about what I'm doing, so I might as well admit that I'm not even talking about sustainable fashion. I mean social justice. Like I for the bulk of it talk about sustainable fashion. Like that's mostly what I try to get through. I don't usually have enough time to get through everything. Um, but always manage to talk about something environmental related, whether that's greenwashing for a brand or like an initiative that other people are doing. I always manage to cover that. I try to have a positive angle just because I'm just optimistic, maybe naively optimistic. But for the pop culture thing, like I always I gravitate towards that, but like social justice is like part of conversations of environmentalism and sustainable fashion. I don't know why I'm stuttering. Um, and then yeah, I do think I need to restructure this a bit more to like actually reflect a bit of like what I actually do because I never watch fashion shows. It's just the copyright is so bad. I say this in every live stream. I wish I could watch them. It's just I never do because the live stream will be killed because of like the music that the fashion shows use. So maybe on Twitch it would work, but here on YouTube, just the copyright kills. So yeah, that's kind of more of a realistic schedule that I changed. So Tuesday and Thursdays, 4 to 7 Central Time. I'm based in Illinois, based in Chicago. I am very meticulous with what I cover. So if you ever want to like submit something or promote something or like cover something or give my takes on something, you can always use this form, which essentially is just like your name, your email, the subject, and like what you want me to cover. I don't directly press on links just because I don't want to be infiltrated. Um, you never know with links, so I will always like read what you want me to cover, but like I won't press direct links. And then yeah, so going back into this is where I do my little personal updates before I get into like the news, the bulk of my live stream. But hopefully you guys like this like green thing. I couldn't change the green color. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it at the same time. I'm still trying to decide. Maybe I should go with a pale pink. Or maybe I should just change it every single time I go on live just to change it up a bit. But the color won't change. Like I try to change the color and it won't change. So I think I'm stuck with it unless I ask someone else to fix it for me. But I could do like a pink. Oh, that one's cool. I could do like a pink. It kind of gives like brats. But I switched to this because I've been noticing my camera blurs me out really often, and it's like it's not pleasant to watch myself back and see my like camera all blurred out when I'm talking like just like this without a website up. So yeah, my camera is supposed to be 4K. It's a Logitech camera, but I'm gonna buy a new one just because it keeps crashing during my gaming live streams. And I'm also going to be buying a second monitor so you don't really see like the behind the scenes struggle of live streaming, because I keep popping up like the OBS tab, which is like what runs the live streams, to YouTube and Twitch, so that's in progress. But I've improved a lot in Twitch streaming and like live streaming, which is so impressive. And like I feel excited to keep improving. And like networking, I know a couple people in Chicago that do content creation. They've done like twists of live streaming. So some content creators that I know are doing like a subathon, but a subathon is more so like for Twitch. But they're doing it now for their blog, where they want to like recruit people to sign up for their newsletter. But they're taking those same wordings, like those same terms, basically the same strategies, but like for a different thing. That's not live streaming. But if I connect with them and I'm like, hey, can I do like a live stream with you? I think they'd be down. And I forget, like I know people in the industry, and I just like know people in general because but I don't know. I don't want to go on a million. I don't want to go on a million tangents, but like I do know a lot of people. It's just I kind of don't bother anyone. And Chicago is such a lovely place. I've been thinking about moving to Milwaukee recently, but there's been so much floods that I just kind of don't want to go anymore. I'm actually getting flood warnings right now because of all the rain. So there is some probability my live stream is going to like shut down possibly if it gets worse and the internet goes out. But it's really concerning what's happening in Milwaukee. By the way, if I sound like too corporate or too professional, I just came out of work and I'm like in work mode, I guess. So if I sound quote unquote fake, I am so sorry. This is what we're gonna have to deal with for the next 6 months. But Milwaukee has been having a bunch of floods. Um, Families are recovering basically right now, but they're still under flood warning and they're in a state of emergency basically. And it's being called the 100-year flood. And it's horrific. Like cars were flooded. Like this is a bridge. Like it's almost the water's up to the top, you know? And like people were coming out of this like game and they were just like going through all this water. I don't know how they were gonna get home. But look, this bridge right here almost filled up to the brim, and these people are just like taking photos. Like these people were struggling. See, they're like knee deep in. It's really concerning. Like when if you leave your house, like you can't go anywhere. Like you're boxed in basically to your house, and the water seeps into your house. So a lot of the floor has been damaged. A lot of the couches, beds, cabinets have been damaged. People were throwing stuff out this morning. I mean, there's no guarantee they're safe at all, but I do think that it's going to be highly unrealistic to move to Milwaukee given the damages. And I do think the communities are going to be recovering for a long while now. And like most likely if I do move into like an apartment that's on a lower level or a house on a lower level, it's not going to work out for me because there's going to be like water damage, and there's no guarantee this isn't going to happen again. I think most likely it will happen again. I mean, I just feel bad for the communities. Like they're throwing away like legit drawers, cabinets. Like what is this bucket gonna do for anyone? You know, like they're just trying to do something as they drink their. Wait, is that a car? I thought that was a real car for a second. I was like, wait a minute, no, that's a child's car. But he has this little beer with this bucket of water, trying to do something. Um, but yeah, it's a really horrible time right now. I think it's slowly dispersing, like the water is slowly like, flowing out. But to think that this was happening like 2 days ago, imagine being the person that lives in this house. That would be horrible. Like honestly, that would be horrible. But I feel for them a lot. Milwaukee has never really been like a super wealthy community or like a super resource community. And a lot of people that actually moved there was because of like affordable rent. Like it's a lot of like young professionals, families, older adults. So to be displaced is horrible, and I can only imagine like the pets and the animals that have been left behind or got lost in the process of like everything. So Yeah, but I was literally thinking about moving to Milwaukee for the longest time, and I actually got an offer to interview with the Milwaukee Riverkeeper Association. I think that's what it was called. But I would basically be a volunteer assistant for the Milwaukee Riverkeeper org, which is like this nonprofit where they envision a future in which people from all walks of life can enjoy the healthy waterways of the Milwaukee River Basin. But essentially now, like, there is basically no river. Like, if you notice in the past video that they just showed, the river kind of flows right in the middle of the downtown. So this job was supposedly, see, this is all downtown. So this job would have started in September, but like if their whole infrastructure, their whole ecosystem is destroyed, like obviously wouldn't have a job. So I kind of made the right call and like not going to the interview. But like the weirdest thing is like the day before the interview, I had this horrible nightmare at night. And then I just emailed them like without any thought and was like, hey, like I'm no longer interested. So sorry. Even though I really wanted to move desperately and I still want to move desperately. But like something kept holding me back and I didn't really know why. And I didn't question it either because usually I overthink. I kind of question everything. I'm like, okay, like why did I back down? Like, why is this nightmare happening? Like, why is this going on? Like, I overthink everything. But in this case, I didn't overthink anything. I just like, did the cancellation of the interview and I moved on. And then when I saw this flooding, I was like, oh my God, like, I got saved. Like, my ancestors or something was preventing me from going into a job that would be basically be impossible to do if I had accepted it, because how can you keep a river if the river's gone or like just everywhere? Maybe the natural formation of the river will come back, but like, most likely it won't. So yeah, that was crazy timing. I don't think I'm going to move to Milwaukee. I feel like I'm being called to stay in Chicago for whatever reason, and I think I'm just going to trust that feeling. And I already in my head said I was going to stay in my home city for like the next probably 5 or 6 months until my Depop flourishes or like works out. I actually really like this pink right here. But yeah, basically I want to be a Depop reseller full time. I'm doing it technically part time right now. And I just got a front desk receptionist job. So that will fund, like, I guess, a dream. Like, the receptionist job will fund the second monitor. It will fund the new camera that I'm getting. It's going to fund, like, having an apartment, like, starting my Depop. And that's going to take time. Like, I don't even make that much. But it's going to be all funding its way into content creation, into, like, a better setup, helping me with Depop, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like, how I see myself navigating is doing Depop full time and then still having live streaming and YouTube be like a side project, because YouTube doesn't really pay. Nothing really pays unless you go like super viral or super big. And I don't see live streaming making me money anytime soon. Maybe within like 2 to 3 years, I see this like being profitable. So in the meanwhile, I'll just keep working like my part-time jobs and like doing my Depop and stuff. But hopefully within 6 months, if I do my strategies right, if I like implement my business plan, like I can most likely become financially dependent on Depop as a full-time job within 6 months. But that's if I invest how much I'm supposed to invest into it, how much I'm supposed to upload every week, how much I'm supposed to sell each thing by, and like if I actually do like what I need to do, like I'll make it full time. And I'm confident like this receptionist job seems pretty easy. It's complicated because there's so much information, but it's easy once I understand it. And I'm pretty comfortable in the setting. It's a bunch of like girls in the setting. It's a good manager. It's professional. I'll never be alone. The hours are decent. So I'm actually really excited for this to work out, and I know it's gonna work out. So it's like a fresh breath of air. Also, one thing before I start the news, I did go visit Amber Lucid. She played at the Navy Pier lakefront, and If you don't know who Navy, or if you don't know who Navy Pier is, if you don't know who Amber Lucid is, she is this like Latina artist. I've mentioned her in past live streams, but this was like basically her longest visit into Chicago, and she played for a 1 hour session at the Latinx T 2025 like event, and it was on Sunday that I went. It was during the day at like 6, and I went with my family, and it was so awesome seeing her in person. She was on the leg stage. Here, let me pull it up. But basically, this is Amber Lucid. She was super popular back in 2020, at least. That's when I first discovered her. But yeah, she just released a new album, and yeah, this is her. Oh, I can't pull it because I'm not logged in. But pretty popular in her own right. She's been doing music for a long time, switched labels, very pro immigration advocacy, pro astrology. Like she does like tarot card readings, which is super cool. And yeah, she's very spiritual and very tuned into her like self and the world. Very much a feeler, and I like it. I love her music. So you should definitely listen to her. I'm not sure if I would get copyright striked if I listened to one of her songs. I think I listened to one of her songs last week, and it was fine. But I should probably start off with like one of her songs for the live stream, and then like open up the live stream after that. But oh, I didn't copy and paste. Amber Lucid is her name. Her artist name. Let's see. But yeah, she's been making music for such a long time. I've actually never seen I've never seen these. She looks exactly the same 6 years ago to today. But this is 6 a.m. She just released it. It's part of her new EP. We'll test out if I get copyright striked listening to her music through this video. So let's see. Oh, you know what? I've been having problems with like the desktop audio. I don't know why. I wonder if you can be able to hear it. Let's see. We'll try it. Okay, so that's a bit of like her music, which is amazing. You should definitely listen to her if you want. That one was called 6 a.m. by Amber Lucy. Uh, beep beep. But yeah, she has a bunch more music, a bunch more songs that I love. Like all of these over here. If you just go down the list, oh my gosh, she is a musical genius. I love her songs. Which one is my favorite? Let's see, which one is Fantasmas? I love Fantasmas. Here, we should listen to this one, and then we should get on with the sustainable fashion news. This one is so good. Not the freaking DD's discounts commercial. I forgot to put the ad blocker. Oh, we always get hit with the ads. Okay.
Destiny left is marking the room. It's got me up at night. Now I'm waking and known. How can I forget your presence when having you around just isn't so pleasant? Aquí nunca hay soledad. Mil fantasmas gritan en calma. Someone sweet. Mil fantasmas gritan en soledad. Think we both know you've noticed it too. It isn't just you and me alone in this room. Why can't
The thing is, she also sounds exactly the same in real life. Like in person, she sounds exactly the same, which is kind of crazy. Like if you listen to her YouTube videos, she sounds exactly the same as in person. I felt like I was in a YouTube video when I was listening to her. It sounds kind of weird to say, but like she's that talented. It's crazy. But yeah, she was only there for an hour, and it was such a dream. Like she covered all of her songs, and I was so in love with the moment. I have a bunch of videos that I took, but my camera actually ended up being broken, and the audio is like going in and out all the time. I didn't realize the audio was messed up with my Canon G7X, which is a vlogging camera. Hi, Prince. But yeah, I'm gonna probably fix my Canon as well. There's a lot of tech issues recently in my life, but that will get fixed. But yeah, that's kind of what I did this weekend. Oh, it's playing again. Oops. But yeah, there's been a lot going on in sustainable fashion, and I'm really excited to get into it. Like, I'm so hyped. I've missed live streaming. I haven't been on since last Tuesday, and it's felt like forever. But to get into it, we should get into it. Willy Chavarria, if you don't know who he is, he's a Chicano, LA-based designer who actually recently released a Adidas Originals like Guarache collaboration called the Chavarria Oaxaca Slip-On, and the internet is mad. He's already apologized, but this came out a couple of days ago, and people were mad. Prince says, "How's your day? My day has been good. We're talking about sustainable fashion, and it's just gotten better." But yeah, these are the huaraches. Um, they're not that special. Like they're made out of plastic, but they have the aspect of a huarache, which are usually made out of traditional practices and like leather. So the Adidas brand is on the bottom. His name is on the side if you look at it closely. Adidas in here, Adidas right there, and then at the back, once he turns it around, that's like copying traditional weaving, by the way. And the design has aspects of traditionality. And then that's his name right there. And they're supposed to be slip-ons, right? Well, it caused a lot of outrage, and people were like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're culturally appropriating our culture when you should know better because you're Latino. Like, what the hell are you doing? And he's gone on to apologize. He's been like, oh, I'm so sorry. I realized my mistake. I should have worked with like the artisans to make it because he didn't make it himself. Like, it was sent to China to be made. And you should know better because he's now like a luxury fashion designer, and yet he's still acting like a fast fashion creator. Like, he has had a past of making fast fashion collections through Adidas, and he's continued that pattern in his new era as a luxury fashion designer. But like, that's not boding well. It's not sitting right. So people have been pissed. A lot of people have been making videos about it.
Willy Chavarria is facing backlash for his latest collab with Adidas Originals. The Chicano fashion designer born and raised in Fresno, California, whose dad is Mexican, is facing backlash for this design. This is what they call the Oaxaca slip-on, but plot twist, this huarache has nothing to do with Oaxaca, it's from Michoacan. I actually reached out to Chavarria from Mexico, which prides itself in making handmade, long-lasting huaraches. They make the iconic style known as the pachuco, which is, if not the most well-known design. It originates from Michoacan and it's handmade. See the resemblance here? They tell me pricing varies and each artisan can only weave 6 huaraches a day, which is another reason Willy and Adidas are getting backlash. The box actually says made in China, which means they are mass producing. Here are some of the comments online. Cultural appropriation at its finest. Made in China? Come on, at least if you're going to steal a design, please make it in Mexico. Made in China with the laughing emoji. Not a huarache, nothing to do with Oaxaca, just a bad move all around. Support local artesanos, not this. And Becky G and Desi Perkins are also getting dragged into this mess. After they commented on his post, Becky said, no you didn't. Willy, this is fire. And Desi said, I love them, OMG. And of course the responses were, it's made in China, Becky, and the design is not from Oaxaca but Michoacan. Ugly plastic huaraches made in China. Desi, you can do better and choose not to support this kind of project. Yes, while Willy has used his platform to make social and political statements, this one might just be a little bit of a setback. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would you buy these? And is this cultural appropriation? Or comment below. Visit LatinNation.com for more on this story. Willy Chavarria.
That was one of the first videos that I saw. And then this is like the actual unboxing of the huaraches. Actually, I lied. This is one of his past collaborations with Adidas. See the Willy? So he has a history of making clothing with Adidas, and like with even within his luxury fashion collections, like he's worked with them. Like, it has like this athleisure vibe here. So like if you see his collections, they're very much luxury fashion. There's some touches of elegance and like elitism, you can say, like aesthetics of like richness and like, oh, this is meant to be like $5,000, but there's definitely a strong influence of athleisure within it that just shows his past within the world of fast fashion. But to give you another take on the huaraches, here is this news.
Limu Limo at your service.
Wait. There's a bunch of commercials today.
Se va a dar un buen tirante porque el diseñador Willy Chavarria presentó una nueva colaboración con Adidas. Se trata de los Oaxaca Slip-On y es estos zapatos huaraches nuevos, y la presentación del nuevo modelo de huaraches ha causado críticas, cuestionamientos sobre si el diseñador estadounidense realiza apropiación cultural. Ahí los estamos viendo, para los que nos acompañan para señal de Telefórmula, sí se ven los clásicos zapatos que se ven allá en Oaxaca, esos son los clásicos zapatos de Oaxaca, pero pues ahora ya están gentrificados, ya aparecen en la Roma, ¿no? Ya traen el logo de Adidas, güey, ya traen ahí la marca, y bueno, pues ahí están, y luego trae pues una funda muy bonita. Y ahora el gobernador de Oaxaca, Salomón Jara, anunció que presentará una denuncia contra la marca y contra el diseñador por usar el nombre Oaxaca Slip-On y el diseño de guaraches. Estos guaraches son originarios de la villa Hidalgo Yalalaj, perteneciente a la Sierra Norte de Oaxaca. Pues a pesar de que los guaraches de verdad que sí están, pues sí están muy bonitos, Zapata, la verdad es que yo sí me los compraría, representan un robo de identidad. Este no es el primer caso que se da de Oaxaca contra pues la guerra por defender sus tradiciones. Aquella vez la empresa Modatelas fue acusada de plagiar diseños tradicionales del Istmo de Tehuantepec. Ahí en la foto estamos viendo ahorita, para los que nos acompañan por redes sociales, pues se ve sí se ve mexicano, Zapata, se ve mexicano el modelo. Trae los calcetines altos y trae estos Oaxaca Slip-On que se ven, ahí está. Le decía, a ver, ya va el gobierno de Oaxaca contra Modatelas. Y luego, Anthropology fue acusada, es una marca que fue acusada de utilizar el diseño de una comunidad mixe sin permiso. Incluso Ralph Lauren se tuvo que disculpar tras ser acusada, la marca Ralph Lauren, de plagiar diseños textiles mexicanos. Es más, Ivette Morán, diseñadora y esposa del ex gobernador de Oaxaca, Alejandro Murat, fue acusada por artesanas indígenas de apropiación cultural en sus diseños. Pues ahí está. Ahora
DSG presents.
Okay, so if you don't know what Spanish says or what this is about, basically, he was explaining how a lot of people think it's cultural appropriation and basically the gentrification of these huaraches for profit. And he was kind of grappling of like whether he would buy it or not and like how it looks and how it's marketed. But there's been like contention and pushback from Oaxacan officials who are now corresponding with Adidas, and the Mexican president has even gone on to make comments and like a press release on this very topic, given that outrage. Because Willy Chavarria has now been one of the most sought out and like observed luxury fashion designer, given his past immigration advocacy and like Latino advocacy within these very like elitist spaces. Like you don't really get into Paris Fashion Week out of nowhere. So like as a Latino representing his culture, like it made waves. Like people who really care about their culture within luxury fashion are watching him, and like a lot of countries are watching him because he's setting an example that hasn't really been set before.
Culture, but the couture has long borrowed from culture, but the line between homage and harm is wearing thin. In Mexico, Adidas is now under fire for releasing sandals that closely resemble tradition. Huaraches from Oaxaca without credit or consent. Designed by American fashion designer Willy Chavarria, the Oaxaca slip-on has ignited outrage among indigenous communities and officials who call it a blatant act of cultural appropriation. But this is not only the case. From runway shows that mimic prison imagery to brands simply copying South Asian dresses, all have faced similar accusations. So the question is, when heritage becomes high fashion, why is the acknowledgement almost always missing? Our final report takes you inside.
Adidas has found itself at the center of a cultural appropriation storm in Mexico after launching a new line of sandals that closely resemble traditional Oaxacan huarache. The Oaxaca slip-on sandals were designed by Willy Chavarria, a Mexican-American creative known for fusing fashion with bold political commentary. But this time, the reinterpretation hit a nerve. Officials in Oaxaca, home to one of Mexico's largest indigenous populations, have accused the sportswear giant of commercializing a design uniquely tied to the Hidalgo Yalalag village. Governor Salomon Jara Cruz threatened legal action, and the Ministry of Culture and Arts demanded that Adidas pull the sandals and open talks with the community. Now, it is not the first time Chavarria's work has attracted criticism. During Paris Men's Fashion Week in June, his show opened with models kneeling in all-white clothing, imagery that El Salvador President Nayib Bukele linked to scenes from his country's notorious Secot prison. Chavarria brushed off backlash, calling it amazing publicity, and defended the runway as a broader artistic statement on global dehumanization.
My first thought was amazing publicity for my brand. Thank you. Amazing global reach. Sadly, we live in a very divided world. I think that anyone who is an artist is going to receive some kind of commentary from people who might not align with their ideas.
This is hardly a solo misstep in fashion's long checkered history with cultural appropriation. Earlier this year, luxury brand Prada came under fire in Milan after debuting leather sandals with toe rings and embroidery, resembling India's iconic Kolhapuri slippers. Initially marketed as a fresh luxury twist on flats, the backlash was swift. Only after widespread criticism did Prada admit the sandals were inspired by Indian tradition and promised to work with local artisans in future. Then there is the dupatta debacle. Modern sustainable brand reformation and rental business, BIPT, were accused of glamorizing Indian scarves and traditional lehenga-inspired garments without once acknowledging their South Asian roots. The reaction on social media was fierce and unforgiving. Even the world of running shoes isn't exempt. Back in March, French-American brand Hoka came under fire in New Zealand for misusing the Maori word hoka, which means to fly, without engaging with Maori communities or honoring the world's cultural weight. Experts slammed the company for erasing origin stories and disrespecting sacred language, especially as some shoe styles also carry significant Maori meanings. So where does fashion go from here? As indigenous communities grow more vocal and consumers are more conscious, the line between cultural celebration and cultural theft is getting thicker. Designers say they are inspired, but communities say they are invisible. And as the runway lights dim and lawsuits loom, one question remains unanswered. Who really owns the story when fashion walks off with the past?
The thing is, this isn't the past, this is the present, and it's extracting culture from others, and it's extracting their skills, and it's extracting basically their lived legacy that's still alive, because artisanry skill is passed down generation through generation through generation through generation. It's not something that just kind of disappears, and it doesn't just live in the past. Like, we're actively carrying culture, we're actively embodying culture, we're actively like living our values as people of a certain culture. So it's not like this is something that goes back in time necessarily. Like, it's not like a past thing, if that makes sense. Like, the narrative there of like, oh, in the past, no, like, this is our future, this is our present. We're just like drawing from generations and generations of skilled laborers who dedicated their entire life, their entire way of being to these certain skills and art forms, because shoes are not just shoes. Like, huaraches are not just huaraches for these people. Yes, it's a livelihood, but they had pride in it. They spent so much skill, talent, stories, emotions into it. It's not just materialism as we call like normal shoes. It's not just things. So like, when you talk about these huaraches being stolen, it's stealing from their culture. It's stealing their art. It's stealing their way of life in the present day. So here is what Mexico had to say about Adidas using these indigenous inspired shoes as a like collection piece for Willy Chavarria, because I am sure that Adidas got the idea from Willy, but who knows? Maybe Willy was the one that presented this idea. Maybe it was Adidas that presented it. I don't really know how the creative direction works. I don't know like how this was presented or how this was proposed, but at the end of the day, both sides made a mistake of embarking on this journey without really thinking, am I appropriating this culture? Am I using this art, this skill in the name of profit? Because like, if it's made in China, you don't give a fuck anymore. Like, don't get it twisted. They didn't give a fuck, but they should have. They should have thought about it. They should have gotten advisors. They should have worked with artisans in Oaxaca. They shouldn't have just assumed that this was okay just because Willy is Latino. Like, just because you're Latino doesn't make you like immune to cultural appropriation. I can't even say it. A cultural appropriation. I struggle so much with having an American accent. Like sometimes I hate English. So if I say stuff wrong or if I don't finish my sentences or I have like my words slurred, it's because I'm not 100% American and I do not want an American accent and I do not care to have the perfect American English accent. Um, just to let you know, because I've been watching my live streams back and I'm like, oh my God, I slur my words and I don't sound 100% like understandable sometimes. But I don't want to be 100% perfect American. I don't like American culture. And I feel like one of the main reasons why this happened is because we're so used to like being a certain way and embodying certain ideas and just taking from others through this colonial thinking when like everyone has and should have a moral direction to take at every day. Like every day we take moral direction. We go somewhere because we think it's right. We go somewhere else because we think it's wrong. Maybe that was just because of how we felt, or maybe it's because we wanted to do things out of spite. Like no matter what we're doing, like we're taking a moral direction, and sometimes like Adidas and Willy and everyone else can get it wrong, but whether it was intentional or unintentional, like I always think that we can learn from our mistakes, if that makes sense. And like Mexico is like learn from your mistakes. So we're gonna learn about that through Router's video where they cover how Mexican officials were like, "Yo, talk to us and like actually give us credit and like walk the right direction to the future because you just stole from us and you think you're gonna get away with this? No." They basically said, "Stop what you're doing and fix it," which I respect.
Adidas has found itself in a cultural appropriation controversy in Mexico after it launched a new line of sandals. Mexican-American designer Willy Chavarria collaborated with Adidas on the Oaxaca slip-on, inspired by indigenous Huarache sandals. However, Mexican critics point out the sandals make use of the name of the southern Mexican state and the indigenous design while being made in China without crediting indigenous artisans. This has led to accusations of plagiarism and exploitation. Artisans in Oaxaca's Yalalac village say Adidas used their design without permission, harming their heritage and livelihood. Vidal Aquino is among them.
Un diseñador yo creo que debe de tener sus...
A designer, I think, should have their own designs to work with.
Poder trabajar y no estar plagiando algo que nosotros...
And not plagiarize something that has been our livelihood and source of income and work for most of the community.
De ingreso, de trabajo para la mayoría de los habitantes de esta comunidad.
The Mexican government stepped in on Friday to mediate the claims against Adidas. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum vowed to protect indigenous communities from cultural exploitation.
Estamos viendo la parte jurídica para poder apoyar a los pueblos.
We are reviewing the legal aspects to support the communities. Often, large companies take products, ideas, designs from indigenous communities in our country.
De comunidades indígenas de nuestro país.
In fact, we are working on a law to ensure besides what already exists. In some ways, they are usurping the creativity of an indigenous community.
De un pueblo originario.
She also added that Adidas is discussing restitution with Oaxaca officials and the Ministry of Culture under Mexico's cultural heritage law. Adidas did not respond to a request for comment. Chavarria, the shoes designer, said in a statement on Saturday that it was, quote, deeply sorry that the shoe was appropriated in this design and not developed in direct and meaningful partnership with the Oaxacan community. He said his approach lacked respect for the community and that he intended to honor the powerful cultural and artistic spirit of Oaxaca and its creative communities. In the United States, Chavarria is praised for highlighting Latino issues and drew attention with a collection referencing El Salvador's Secot prison. Mexico has previously challenged brands like Inditex and Louis Vuitton to protect its traditional designs.
When your business is growing.
Okay, so the thing is, I respect his apology. I respect it a lot because you know how hard it is to admit to mistakes or like to say, oh, I don't know. I've been surrounded by very American privileged women recently through my job, and the amount of like filibustering and like lies that they're doing just to get by at work is outstanding. Like I was having a normal conversation with a high functioning autistic maintenance person in my job, and I was asking him about his history and interest in motorcycles. And there's an interesting intersection of like motorcyclists and communities around that with veterans. Like a lot of veterans become motorcyclists and they join like all these little hubs of that. Um, and I was asking him all these questions, and the girl was answering for him, and she was like answering without really knowing what she was answering. And I asked her like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "No, I just said that. It sounds like it, right?" And she wasn't letting me have the conversation. She wasn't letting me have a conversation with this guy that I found um, interesting, just out of like a purely intellectual curiosity. I was like really curious, like, how do you find community through a motorcycle list lens, you know? And like, how is it that they're mostly veterans and they had like a process of like ranking up within their group, and like they had nicknames for each other and they like fundraised, and it kind of reminded me of like informal like charitable social justice groups, because they like fundraise for certain causes, and like they recruit people and they host the community events. And it was so fascinating, and yet I kept asking him questions and he was willing to share. Like he wanted to have a conversation. He didn't really want to do his job because he doesn't really work and during the evenings. He was just scheduled to work the evenings when he usually works the day. So he was like really willing to talk to us. So he was like engaged, he was answering, but she kept interrupting and like talking and talking and talking for him. And I was like, "Are you sure?" I was questioning her because like she was pissing me off. And she was like, "Oh, it seems like it. Oh, it seems like that's what he was saying or was going to say." When the guy's like literally right there within the same conversation, and like this level of like audacity of like not backing off and letting other people talk. And I'm Latina and the guy is like African American. So it's like also a race card as well, because whether you like it or not, you're taking up space that's not yours, lady. Like this privileged white woman is answering for an autistic like African American man who wants to explain his passion. Like he loves and loved motorcycles for such a long time, and I was curious, you know. But she was not letting him answer. She was taking up like all the airtime basically, and like this level of like pretending to be confident, to know all the answers, and like to be the one that can only have the right away, basically the right way or like the right thought. It, it's condescending. It's just it's not needed. Like let people be, like let people learn, let people like make mistakes. And like if you're thinking, okay, how does this relate to what we just watched? Well, the point that I'm trying to make is like sometimes people don't let others be. So with the case of Willie, he made a mistake, and I do think he can do better collaborations, he can do better in general. um but the thing is like I don't know if he would have said I'm sorry if he hadn't been white. I'm sorry. Like it's a fact for me at this point that if you're American born and American raised and have a lot of privilege and a lot of audacity and a lot of colonial thinking inherently in your bias and in your unconscious or conscious thoughts, you're not going to back down and you're not going to learn from your mistakes. And if you do learn from your mistakes, that I feel like that's just a miracle. But I do hope it happens. Like I'm a relentless optimist that people can learn, people could change, that they can admit to their faults, they can admit to their mistakes, and that they can be like, "I'll shut the fuck up and do better next time." But the pattern is not that. So like when people interrupt others, when people make mistakes, I try to give them a benefit of the doubt and be like, "Bro, what the hell is going on?" But it shows biases. It shows certain values. Like for Willie and the Huaraches collaboration, I do think it was appropriation. I believe that he used his own culture for the name of money. I do think it was wrong. It was not a direct or meaningful partnership with Oaxacan communities. And like it raises a question like, can you really honor culture without working directly with the people? Because that's like a lot of what the news bits are saying. Like, how can they move forward basically if they're not going to work with with if they're not going to work with the culture? Like can he really continue to make huaraches without his Mexican community? Basically, no. If he doesn't want to be canceled, he has to work with the community. Like he's forced to be in connection with them, which is good, right? Like you need to work with those that you supposedly are trying to uplift and empower. You can't just like make this weird Adidas collaboration and expect your money and like praise when like you didn't even work with the community itself. Now I don't even think he's used to working with like communities directly. Like as a fast fashion creative, I think he was just used to doing random stuff and getting away with it and never having to talk with those that actually made the skill happen or actually like should be credited for the work. Um, also, another thing that I was thinking about when I was watching all these news bits is like maybe he didn't think he was going to get canceled because he's Latino. Like, would you expect a Latino to be canceled for cultural appropriation? Or appropriation, I cannot say that word. And I don't think a lot of us would be like, yeah, like you can get canceled for cultural appropriation if you're Latino. But just because you're Latino doesn't exempt you from errors, from flaws, from mistakes. So I think this is a learning lesson for him to not use Oaxaca or Oaxacan skills or like Oaxacan communities in general as like a brand. And like he should have and should think twice before naming other shoes in the future after Oaxaca or Oaxacan itself as a name. Like he said his shoes were Oaxacan huaraches. That's like what he called them. But like Mexico is so much more than just a place. Like it embodies so much of our legacy, of our spirituality, of our history. Like you can't just like sell that, you know? You can't just sell it for money. That's not just a brand. Like it's for me, I feel like it's a living, breathing thing, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if you know what I mean, but it just feels alive. Like there's an energy to it that you can't like commodify or shouldn't commodify. Like there's some things that you probably should leave alone. Like you should probably not use a culture for your own benefit if you're not going to respect it. For me, it's like common sense. I don't even know how to explain this, but like a lot of people kind of lack common sense. But let's watch this one before I give you my final takes on it because there's a lot to be said. And I don't think I'm like explaining it correctly or the most accurately just because I'm like really pissed. And I need to calm down for a second.
Sí, los guaraches que están tomando de... No sé, Marina, si quieres comentar algo sobre esto.
Adidas y un diseñador de origen norteamericano hicieron apropiación cultural indebida de unos guaraches que pertenecen a la tradición del pueblo de Yalalaj en...
Awkwardly, I never switched it to actually show you what I'm watching.
De un
Here.
pueblo originario. Sí, los guaraches que están tomando de... No sé, Marina, si quieres comentar algo sobre esto.
Adidas y un diseñador de origen norteamericano hicieron apropiación cultural indebida de unos guaraches que pertenecen a la tradición del pueblo de Yalalaj en Oaxaca. Ya se puso en contacto.
This Justin, Mexico is calling out Adidas and has challenged them to pay for the Oaxaca slip-on. It is a sneaker sole-topped with a weave of Mexico's Huarache sandals, designed by Willy Chavarria, who was a Mexican-American. But the design is borrowed heavily from indigenous Zapotec Huarache sandals of a small town in Mexico with no consent or credit. President Claudia Sheinbaum denounced the move, calling it cultural exploitation and announcing legal action. The Heritage Ministry and Oaxaca officials want Adidas to compensate the communities whose traditions were co-opted. This is not an isolated event. Just earlier this year in June, Milan fashion brand Prada featured sandals which are an exact copy of India's Kolhapuri chappals. The Kolhapuri chappals are of Maharashtra origin and made by Dalit artisans. Prada later admitted the inspiration and promised to collaborate with the artisans for a whole made-in-India Kolhapuri collection. But the economics are jarring. Artisans sell these chappals for about Rs 1,000, while Prada's version retails at Rs 1 lakh. In both cases, we see a troubling pattern. Indigenous communities are being monetized but not credited. The world wears their identity while their creators remain invisible. Take the Huarache, a pre-Columbian leather sandal from Mexico, crafted by hand for centuries. It's more than footwear, it's cultural identity and resistance. Yet Adidas treated it like design fodder. Similarly, Kolhapuri chappals from India trace back to the 12th century, made by artisans using a nail-less construction. Similarly, Kolhapuri chappals from India trace back to the 12th century, made by artisans using a nail-less construction technique. In 2019, they earned a geographical indication tag, yet luxury brands can still misappropriate quietly. Legal protections like GI tags are critical, but limited. They don't extend internationally. Prada bypassed this by avoiding the term Kolhapuri, even though the silhouette was unmistakable. Chavarria said in a statement on Saturday that he was deeply sorry and that the shoe was appropriated in this design and not developed in direct and meaningful partnership with the Oaxacan community. But this story raises an important question. Who controls cultural value, and at what cost? Unless big brands are confronted, high fashion remains cultural extraction masquerading as creativity. These controversies should be wake-up calls. Countries like Mexico with laws protecting indigenous heritage and India with GI tags need to push for global IP safeguards that protect Creative Commons from homogenizing appropriation. As luxury giants chase the next it look, the question is not whether indigenous designs will inspire, it's whether their creators will ever truly gain from their own legacy and labor. For more stories like this, stay tuned to Mint.
Okay. So another thing that I can't help but think about is like, would have Willie apologized if he hadn't faced this controversy, if he basically hadn't been canceled? I don't agree with cancel culture, but sometimes it allows more accountability and more repercussions to be felt by very like comfortable designers who have been trained and have been doing things in the industry that they probably shouldn't, which is like stealing designs and like doing whatever they want with no repercussion. So I do think this apology, again, will be a learning lesson. I do think the online criticism is justified. I do think social media had a lot to do with this, and it shows how powerful social media is becoming. TikTok was not happy. And I didn't really see anything on Instagram, which was really surprising. But he reacted very fast. He apologized. I was not expecting him to be apologetic, but maybe it's like reactive, like damage control, because he just is starting off as a, fashion designer in the luxury fashion world. So maybe he wants to preserve his brand. He wants to like make sure that his PR is going to go well in the future, especially as he's selling all these things that he's never sold before. So I don't know if it's like a combination of like respect for his own culture that he apologized, and or because he wants to keep his brand like quote unquote authentic, which is like actually advocating for immigrants and like their dignity and their respect and their rights and stuff. Um, but yeah, I need him to like not do this again. That would be so ideal. But yeah, I don't really know how Adidas would justify this in the long run because they themselves haven't apologized. They did say they were going to work with like Mexican authorities, like the Oaxacan community. But they have a track record of like collaborating with designers and basically like um, clout chase through them, like get money through their connections and stuff. So yeah, I don't really think they're gonna be as remorseful as Willie just because they're so used to like bad practices and like just taking without any expectations or like any accountability. But hopefully Adidas learns as well, like has a cleaner supply chain, works directly with communities, does more artisanal stuff, more collections that are like really honoring others versus using others. But yeah, I really feel like we have to think more about like cultural appropriation and appreciation in the industry. Like it keeps happening. Like the recent video that we saw about in the Indian sandals, like it just keeps happening over and over and over again, and it's troublesome to like see this be a cycle, a pattern even. And yeah, I wonder if there can be any laws or anything in place that can prevent this in the long run, because if we keep having brands apologize and like still get away with it somehow in the future. Like that's not really the change that we need. We need more systemic change. We need more like long, not long, like big picture, like huge reform in the industry, than just like simple apologies in the long run. So yeah, hopefully the Mexican president can like force them to do something because it's not just like the United States that would have to like enforce this. It would be like a global initiative, especially because cultural appropriation is like intercultural. Obviously, like a lot of times like Westerners take from like the global South. Um, so and if you think about it, like Western countries don't really have culture. Like if someone robs our American culture, what are they robbing? Hot dogs and French fries? Like, bro, we don't got no culture. Like, they're not stealing from our own country. They're stealing from others that actually have something going on. And also there's been a lot of like informative posts, which I love seeing, like BBC. Cannot say that. BBC News covered it as well for like English speaking customers, which got 38,000 likes, which is super awesome to see. But there's also been a lot of other stuff happening in the industry. For example, like Shein has been fined more than $1 million for greenwashing, which is not surprising for me, but I love to see this happen because they often get away with the most random shit, and now they're being called out left and right. And I always say this in every live stream, but goddamn, how much are they paying their lawyers? Like, who are their lawyers? So let's listen to this article by Fashion Dive before I take a quick break at 5:30.
Shein fined $1.16 million for greenwashing, releases plan to lower supply chain emissions. Shein was fined €1 million, $1.16 million, by the Italian government for using misleading environmental claims in the promotion and sale.
Give me 1 second because my headphones are being wacky for some reason. I think they disconnected. Nope, they're definitely connected. It's just I can't hear anything. What is going on with my tech?
Sale of Shein branded clothing. The fine stems from an investigation that was launched last year by the Italian Competition Authority, a regulator known as the ACGM. The investigation found that Shein's claims in the #SHEINTHEKNOW, Evolushine, and social responsibility sections of the company's website included statements that were vague.
Let's start again.
Shein fined $1.16 million for greenwashing, releases plan to lower supply chain emissions. Shein was fined €1 million, $1.16 million, by the Italian government for using misleading environmental claims in the promotion and sale of Shein branded clothing. The fine stems from an investigation that was launched last year by the Italian Competition Authority, a regulator known as the ACGM. The investigation found that Shein's claims in the #SHEINTHEKNOW, Evolushine, and social responsibility sections of the company's website included statements that were vague, generic, and overly emphatic, and that, in other cases, Shein omitted or gave misleading information, according to a press release from the Italian agency on Monday. On the same day as the AGCM announcement, Shein separately released plans to lower supply chain emissions at its warehousing and logistics operations in China and divert waste from landfills. Italy's investigation into the company began in September 2024, when the competition regulator said that consumers had an increased interest in the impact of their consumption choices on the environment. The investigation took issue with Shein's claims related to circular design and product recyclability, which the AGCM said were false or confusing. The fast fashion company's promotion of the Evolushine clothing line used the term green fibers, without clearly indicating the environmental benefits of the products, and Shein didn't specify that the line is marginal compared to all of its other products, according to AGCM. The claims also could lead consumers to believe that the collection is entirely recyclable, which is untrue. In Shein's social responsibility section, the fast fashion company's claims that it would reduce greenhouse gas emissions 25% by 2030 and eliminate them entirely by 2050 are generic and vague. The Italian authorities said that these figures were contradicted by Shein's greenhouse gas emissions rising in 2023 and 2024. We have cooperated fully with the AGCM throughout this process and took immediate action to address the concerns raised as soon as we became aware of them, a Shein spokesperson said in an email. We have strengthened our internal review processes and improved our website to ensure that all environmental claims are clear, specific, and compliant with regulation. In a different announcement on Monday, Shein said it was integrating new energy vehicles into its interwarehouse transportation system in China. The fast fashion company is developing a 9.6-meter electric vehicle that will work as an alternative to its current fleet of 6-meter diesel trucks. Shein said it was working with several logistics and technology partners to develop the vehicle, but it didn't identify them. This year, Shein plans to deploy more than 130 vehicles across its warehousing and logistics operations in China. This plan, the company said, could lead to a nearly 10,000 metric tons reduction of carbon dioxide annually, and create cost savings of 20% to 30% compared to diesel vehicle operations. Shein said its logistics model, which involves frequent short-distance trips and lightweight items, makes it well-suited to pilot and scale electric vehicles. Shein recognizes that more needs to be done to better manage its impact on natural resources and the environment and is actively seeking opportunities to collaborate with partners across the industry to drive further progress, the company said in the release. In addition to the new energy vehicles, Shein said it would implement other measures to enhance its logistics efficiency. Shein plans to optimize its global logistics network with route planning for multimodal routes to reduce emissions. It also plans to optimize air freight capacity by developing new loading frames and introducing lighter, reusable gunny sacks to reduce packaging weight. The company said it would expand its use of electric delivery vehicles in regions such as Europe, and promote self-pickup locations where available. In addition, Shein announced that 4 of its managed facilities achieved a zero waste to landfill certification, bringing the total of Shein facilities with this certification to 7. By gradually standardizing the waste treatment methods at its self-operated facilities, Shein has implemented a range of waste management processes that have helped all 7 of its zero waste to landfill certified sites to achieve an average waste diversion rate of 99.59%, including energy recovery, the company said in the release. This means that almost all of the waste generated at the certified sites is reduced, reused, recycled, or converted into energy.
Okay, so... Oh my gosh. See, the thing is, it makes so much effort to come across as like doing the right thing, when we all know they're not doing the right thing. And that's the thing about like working in fashion brands. Like, if you make a mistake, admit to like what you're doing, admit to making mistakes, admit to not having all the answers. But it's often enough the case that brands like Shein are claiming that they're doing stuff quote unquote right. And maybe it's improvements, it's small improvements, but it's like you need an entire overhaul of your brand. You need to throw this brand down the trash and call it a day. Forfeit it. Give it up. Because what are we going to do with the Shein the no? Hashtag Shein the no. The hell is that? The Evolution collection? What the hell is that? The social responsibility page is a joke. Like, we all go there to have a comedy show. Like, we obviously should expect it to be vague, to be generic, to be overly empathetic. Like, what else are they going to do? They're in a shit show. They are the shit show in the name of money, in the name of trying to just get a quick buck from consumers by throwing them all this stuff, gamifying their website, robbing pictures of other brands. They're literally being sued by Brandy Melville because they're using their photos and just changing the colors on there so it seems like they're not, when you know they are. So like when they're like, oh, we're gonna lower the supply chain emissions at the warehouse and logistic operations, that's a start. It's good. I'm not saying that's not good. It's just like that's the start to shutting everything down. Like, what good does it do to anybody? Like, if there's less emissions to your fast fashion production, you know, like, it's almost like saying, oh, well, at least it was organic fire that's setting the world on fire. At least it's organic. I don't even know if you can have organic. That was a bad metaphor. It's like setting what's a good metaphor? Setting the world on fire, but then saying, oh, it's just a small fire. You know what? No, that's not a good metaphor either. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like, just because you're doing one small thing doesn't make it better. Like, you're kind of the cause of a huge, chaotic nightmare. So, yeah. Those were bad metaphors. Whenever I get pissed off, I can't think straight. What is a good metaphor to what they're doing? When you like try to fix something small, but the world is on fire. But that's kind of like it's kind of like what anti-activists think about when they're like, "Oh, I don't want to join a group." Because I noticed this. They're like, "Well, the world is on fire, so I shouldn't do one small thing." And I'm like, "Well, you can still always do a good thing." But with these brands, it's like they can decide to shut down their business. They still have a chance to like do something concrete and impactful. And I think at the end of the day, we all have a choice. It's just like these things of like she and the no and evolution and social responsibility. These things are jokes. We don't need this. This is not an option that we need. We shouldn't be compromising. Oh, because we got the evolution section of this brand. Like it's just shut it all down. Shut it all down. We don't need a band-aid for a fire. No, that's the metaphor. We don't need band-aids to a fire. We need like those water sprayers, whatever the fuck, fire hydrants. We need fire hydrants to shut it down, not a band-aid. So basically, they're being fined because they're only doing the band-aid fix when they should actually be helping the environment, when they should actually be putting out the fire, which is putting down their brand. And I think I think it's a shame that they're trying to like allude to things. It just confuses consumers a lot more. But I don't really think that like the $1 million will really affect them in the long run. Sadly, because they're making billions of dollars. So like $1 million fee, I don't even think that's gonna make a dent overall for anything that they're doing. It's like pocket change basically. I feel like. Um, so yeah, it's almost like marketing too. Like this is like a marketing fee because you will. I'm sure they're gonna continue to have their sustainability section on their website. They're gonna continue to do sustainable fashion collections. They're gonna continue to say vague, problematic statements, and they're just gonna continue to pay the fines um, if they don't change their ways. But we need the top executives to like actually shift for this brand to shift. And if they don't move away from like the race to the bottom, which is like cutting corners to like get the most out of their production, then things are gonna stay the same, and they're gonna continue to gamify their brand. They're gonna continue to make cheap items, sadly. Um, and I talk from a personal level. I want to note that. So like when I see Shein say, "Oh, we're gonna move from like diesel to electric," it reminds me of what's happening in my city where there's a bunch of trucks, and they've made that same sort of like promise or like conversation point of like, well, at least the trucks now will be electric. We don't need electric trucks. We need you to stop putting your freaking trucks in our community and stop giving us all these health issues. I'm sure I have asthma because of all the freaking truck pollution I breathe in, because of the highway systems, because of these messed up zoning laws that have placed them next to me. I have issues, health issues, because of all the factories around my house. Like, we don't need basically electric trucks. Yes, they're a solution. Yes, they're part of the better picture. But there's historically been a lot of racism and oppression placed upon certain people to face issues, which are basically called frontline communities. So like, we need an overhaul of the entire system. We can't just conform to like small solutions and call it a day. Like, there's so much at stake when it comes to like change, and like if we conform or accept small solutions, like how are things actually going to move in the long run? It's going to go very slowly. But I do agree though, like it cuts emissions, maybe not by a lot, but like by some degrees. And if they're not going to stop their operations, well, I mean, it could be better for the environment overall, but it doesn't even address either ways, like working conditions or like the fabric that they use in their collections, because all that does take resources. It takes like electricity, it takes water, it takes, you know, so much energy to like sew things. It has the dyeing process, which is also water intensive and like takes time. And there's just so much to the fashion industry that is so draining and so resourceful taking. Like it just takes a lot of resources to make something that to not address that just kind of makes like the diesel truck thing just seem funny or insignificant. But yeah, I do think that it's very much needed that they be fined and to continue to be fined. The Italian Competition Authority is something I'm not truly familiar with, but kudos on them for wanting to like force them to like wake up to what they're doing, because money talks within capitalism. Money does talk within the race to the bottom, and I don't think they want to keep getting fined. I don't think Shein wants to keep being fined. I do think it benefits them to like change their ways, but when you're making $1 billion out of exploitative conditions, then like it's gonna take them a while to change. So, but Italian Competition Authority, they are after them, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think they're trying to break down their morale and like call more attention to them. Um, but yeah, let's watch this TikTok that Dr. Brett Stanyland made.
Euros for greenwashing. The Italian authorities have said Shein were making omissive or misleading environmental claims about its products, and said their sustainability messages on their website were vague and generic. This comes after France also fined Shein €40 million for greenwashing last month too. The fines are related to claims in
My mic's not on. Okay. So I failed to show you the video and my mic was off. So let me start over. This is the video by Twin Brett. There you go. Let's watch it. Let's actually watch the video together, guys. Ha 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 ha. Sorry for the hiccups. Ah. The 9 to 5 girl live streams afterwards. What shall we ever see? Mistakes.
Shein have been fined €1 million for greenwashing. The Italian authorities have said Shein were making omissive or misleading environmental claims about its products, and said their sustainability messages on their website were vague and generic. This comes after France also fined Shein €40 million for greenwashing last month too. The fines are related to claims in their She in the Know and Evolution projects, which is a roadmap for equitable empowerment of people, collective resilience, and waste innovation. Yes, really. Shein's claims about the circularity and recyclability of the Evolution by Design collection were found to be straight up lies, or at the very least confusing. The thing is though, a €1 million fine is not enough. In 2023, Shein made €2 billion in profit, which means they made €1 million every 4 hours. To Shein, the fines from the Italian regulators are well worth it, because they'd have made that money back on the crap they sold by misleading consumers. If we are to actually tackle greenwashing and clamp down on unsustainable businesses, these fines have to get more serious. And I guess greenwashing is just another thing to add to the long list of shit we know about Shein, alongside design theft, modern slavery, racketeering, and toxic chemicals in their products. So what will it take for people to stop buying from Shein and for influencers to stop working with them? Shein have been fined.
Very good question. What will it take? I mean, it's not the individual's fault. Like, people have been trying to make better choices, even within fast fashion brands. So, like, the Evolution collection, whatever they want to call it, the eco-washing, greenwashing collection that they have, basically, that is supposed to be Shein's version of, like, quote-unquote guilt-free fashion, or, like, better fashion. So, they've purposely used these vague statements because they know consumers want to do better. It's not that they don't. They want to like actually be good consumers. And then the public ends up thinking like, oh, okay, this is a better ethical choice. Like, this is what I'm gonna do going forward, so I'm not part of the problem. But the thing is, like, Shein refuses to actually do the right thing. This is the brand's fault. Like, they need binding commitments. They need to be transparent with us so that when we audit them by third-party auditors, which is like when they go in and inspect what's happening, we actually understand what's going on. But like they keep lying to us. They have like very controlled audits, so they control the narrative and they control the wording of their sections on their page. They control the collections. And so when they get fined or penalized or sued, it's like others saying, yo, stop with the BS and like actually do what you have been saying that you're gonna do, which is like to have eco options, to have like ethical options, you know? These are things that we need to force upon brands because they often enough don't want to take accountability for what they're doing to individuals in their operations. Like us, the consumers, are like being lied to, and that's not okay, and it shouldn't be okay. And they'll continue to lie to us until either one, we realize what they're doing, or two, they're stopped forcefully. But on their own account, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop, and they're going to keep lying that they're eco-friendly so that they can get a quick buck from you. And that's just the sad truth. So for me, I'm like, shut it down. We don't need band-aids, you know? We can't like say, oh, this cute diesel truck will fix everything. Like that's not like it's not fixing anything. We don't need the diesel trucks. Shut it down. Just shut it down. But I guess in the bright news of the day, I guess, is the update. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. But basically, there is updates that Claire's has filed for bankruptcy, which is good. I think this is kind of like what I want Shein's experience. I want Shein's experience bankruptcy. And the thing is, like, I used to be a fan of Claire's. I used to shop there when I was a kid. And to see them, like, fall basically is bittersweet because, like, they formed my idea of childhood. This is before I got jaded by late stage capitalism. This was when I believed that the earth and people had like morals and there was like a future for us and that things were good and the future was bright. Like this is when I was naive, you know? But they've have failed. They have failed in the world of capitalism, and now they're going bankrupt. And this is their second time that they've experienced this. So let's take a look at this video that explains like what happened and then get into understanding a bit more of the context. Now this ad is 13 seconds long, so but yeah, I'm sad that Claire's is going. It's leaving us. It's leaving us. It's going bye-bye. It's going see you later.
America's quintessential mall retailer Claire's has filed for bankruptcy. Again. Claire's, which is known for its endless aisles of accessories and having pierced over 100 million ears, first filed for bankruptcy in 2018. That was because it couldn't repay the $1.9 billion it owed at the time. And after years of trying to turn around its business, it's been met with the same fate, yet again.
You're just not saying your tweens and teens looking to storefronts to see what the trends are. They're looking online, and Claire's just hasn't been able to keep up with that online presence.
So how did shopping mall favorite Claire's go from a publicly traded company to multiple bankruptcies? And what's in store for the retailer going forward? To get a sense of what Claire's is like nowadays, my colleague Natalie and I visited one of the stores in Manhattan. She likes piercings and offered to get one for the story.
So I just got my ear pierced at Claire's, and it was super nostalgic to be in there. It's not the same as it was in middle school, where it was fun and catchy, and there were lots of people in there.
Claire's is one of those brands with real emotional heritage, so it grew rapidly through the 80s and 90s and became sort of the undisputed leader in teen accessories, with thousands of stores worldwide, an incredibly strong brand recognition, and in particular its ear piercing service became a sort of rite of passage for many.
Its expansion took off in the early aughts. From fiscal 2000 to 2008, the company nearly doubled its sales and grew its store count by over 350 locations during the same time period. But its business has somewhat of a wild backstory. Claire's was publicly traded from 1985 to 2007, when it got delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. It was sold to private equity firm Apollo Management for $3.1 billion. Claire's filed an application to go public again in 2013. After 4 years of trying to drum up investor interest, it ultimately backed out of the IPO process in 2017. A year later, the company filed for its first bankruptcy. It was taken over by creditors Elliott Management Corporation and Monarch Alternative Capital, who eliminated about $1.5 billion in debt from its balance sheet. Since then, it has continued to struggle. High costs related to US tariffs and competition from ultra-cheap online marketplaces like Shein, Temu, and TikTok Shop have all contributed to its demise.
Claire's relies on fundamentally a low-margin, high-volume model, so that kind of really, from a cost perspective, is hugely difficult to deal with.
My camera. Wait, let me fix my camera real quick. Oh, this is funny. Oh my god, why is my camera still breaking? Ew, that's such an ugly angle. Wait. Wait a minute. Yeah, you definitely need to buy a new camera. What? Wait, how do I fix it? I don't know how to fix it. Wait. This happened to me last time too. I didn't know how to fix it. It keeps happening. Like, I don't know what to do. Video capture device. Oh, it worked. It worked. Okay, wow. That was crazy. That was actually crazy. I don't even know how I fixed that. Did I double click? I don't know how I fixed that, but I fixed it. Where were we? We were listening to Claire's. Yeah, this camera sucks. Need to buy a new one ASAP. It keeps disconnecting for some reason. So, not trustworthy whatsoever. Okay, let's get back to it. Let me make sure there you go.
Then you have the factor that in reality, Claire's still has too many stores for today's retail world. They have too many stores in locations where footfall is not particularly strong.
Going into bankruptcy, Claire's had more than 2,500 company-owned and franchised stores worldwide.
Were you expecting the chair to be right in front of the door like that? That's the first time I've ever been in a Claire's store, and I couldn't believe you were just like right in front of the window.
I'd forgotten that was part of the experience. You see other people getting their ear pierced, and you want to get your ears pierced.
Claire's still has strong brand awareness and generated $1.3 billion in revenue in 2024. That's about the same revenue it was bringing in 20 years ago. The problem is its profitability has fallen sharply. The company filed yet again to go public in 2021, but withdrew that application in 2023.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the things we're looking up. It's more the fact that they're looking at various different measures to get the investment they need to turn around the business. So they have tried to explore all the different options needed to kind of raise the capital to modernize the business, to invest in the stores, invest in digital.
According to a preliminary SEC filing related to its IPO application for fiscal 2021, Claire's net sales were about $1.4 billion, but its net income was just $8.2 million. For comparison, in fiscal 2007, its net sales were about $1.5 billion, and its net income was $188 million.
If you've got stagnant growth, but your costs are obviously increasing by more than your revenue growth, then your margins are becoming thinner and thinner. And that makes operating stores or investing in things like digital transformation that retailers need to do now to kind of stay relevant and stay agile.
Claire's piercing business has helped to justify its large store footprint, but it's not been enough.
It makes them unique. However, how many times does your tween get their ears pierced? Generally, it's once. So you're going there one time, you're going to shop for earrings, get your 50% off when you get your ears pierced, and then you might not ever be going back. So I'm not sure how viable that is to sort of keep the whole brand open. But it is certainly a different.
Wait, so are they blaming the idea that we only get our ears pierced like once to like not justify staying in business? Because if it was that case, like it would have gone out of business a long time ago. Like we can't just be like, oh, it's going out of business just because we only get one ear piercing in our whole life. Like I think there's a lot of people. I think that there's a whole lot more reasons behind why they're shutting down.
Differentiator for them.
Despite turnaround efforts with retail partnerships, a loyalty program, and investments in influencer-led content, the company filed for bankruptcy again on August 6th, 2025. Claire's isn't necessarily done, at least not yet. This bankruptcy wipes clean a nearly $500 million debt balance that was due in December of 2026. Its struggles to pay that loan became clear in May of 2025 when it had to defer interest payments. Without that burden on its balance sheet, Claire's will have to leverage its strong brand recognition and tap into the next generation of shoppers if it wants to survive.
Reaching out to the parents of Gen Alpha and kind of offering some kind of reminder that they had that rite of passage with the ear piercings and the accessories. They had that kind of, they're tapping into that shopping mall culture, that nostalgia, the retro element is something I think actually does hold value and something that potential investors will look at and consider in terms of they are to come in and rescue the brand.
Bankruptcy can be a beneficial process for a distressed retailer that has a viable business going forward, where it can allow them to refocus, reduce some of their debt, reduce that store footprint, and emerge leaner and better than ever.
Claire's is liquidating its stores and, in the meantime, searching for a buyer. In its bankruptcy declaration, the company said it has contacted over 150 potential buyers and is continuing to negotiate. However, finding a buyer has proven difficult for companies that file for bankruptcy more than once. Claire's joins a roster of 9 other major retailers that have filed for bankruptcy at least twice within the past 10 years.
What we're typically seeing in the last year are these repeat filers, is that they are just liquidating and closing down their stores, maybe with some online presence continuing. But the second and really the third bankruptcy filing we've just seen as the nail in the coffin for the retailer and retail locations remaining open.
Well, does that mean we'll no longer ever have a Claire's again if no one buys them out? I personally never saw them in Walgreens or Walmart. I mean, they do have that program where like they're in those stores and they have like a little pop-up section, but maybe I'm just not in the kids section. I've never seen them, to be honest. But I mean, it's so expensive to rent a place out in the mall. I don't know how much they pay in rent, but I don't think they make enough to cover even the rent prices. And we're in a legit recession. Like who is going to these stores? Who is going to these stores and like buying earrings that are like $20? I just could not imagine spending $20 on earrings. I'm so sorry, especially when Shein has them for like $2-3 and Temu has like even cheaper prices. Like I don't think Claire's is able to even like understand how to compete without a brick and mortar store. Like, do they even sell online? Do they even have a website? Now that's a super interesting question because I don't think they sell online. If they do, this is news to me, but their website looks decent. It looks sparkly. It looks like it's up to date. It has like little 3D stickers on there, super cute. But oh, they gamified it as well. Okay, taking notes from Shein. There you go. Okay, let's say we want to buy some hair clips. Let's do hair bows. Age 3 to 6. I think that's their target market. So it seems like each bow is like $10. Now I do think that it is the parents that are doing this. At the end of the day, like they're the ones going in and choosing stuff for their kids and putting in the information and being like, "Oh, this is cute for my daughter." So I don't think it's necessarily like the kids' fault, and I don't think they've stopped loving this store. I think it has more to do with parents' purchasing power and where they buy things. So I just don't think it makes sense for them to be like, oh, I'm going to pay $8 for a bow clip when I can buy this same thing at Temu at a much better price. Like, I do think that what's happening here is like, they're like, oh, let's go to Temu first. Or they may take inspiration from Claire's and then go to Temu to actually make the purchase. Because if you look at this, it's not anything too special. It's like generic items. It's fun items. It's cutesy items, mostly made out of plastic or like fake gold or fake silver. So when it comes down to like paying $15 for one thing, it just doesn't make sense. Even if there is like the buy three get two free, which has always been a deal, but yeah, parents are struggling right now. Like the average American makes $30,000 or less. Like at least in my home city, a normal family of two, like a household, makes 60K a year, and that's two people combining their money together. So that's 30K each. And if you're very low on money and want to buy something cute for your daughter, then $25 for two pair of earrings is way too much. Even if they're 18 karat gold plated crystal heart studs and hoop earrings. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to continue on as an online store because it seems like all their stores are closing down. But if anything, I do think the website is going to continue to function. It's just their rent and malls are getting so expensive, and like malls are dying. Like I've been seeing everywhere malls are literally dying. No one is going there except for like the theater or like the where you eat, the cafeteria. I don't think a lot of people are actually buying stuff in like the actual shops and the actual stores. So yeah, it's sad to see this like go. I don't want it to go. I do think it was like an initiation ritual. I got both my ears pierced at Claire's, which is crazy to think about. Two of them were from Claire's, and the last one was from Walmart. But like something just hits different when your ears are pierced at Claire's. You know what I mean? Like it's just a thing that you do as a kid. Like you go to Claire's to get your ears pierced. You get your first pair of earrings at Claire's. Like you can't take that away from me. You can't take away core memories away from me. But I don't know. I always feel like I'm worried for our up and coming generation because what initiation do they have in society now? Like they're always on their phone. They're obsessed with cheap stuff online. Like they're always online too in general. Like I I'm worried if they'll have anything like tangible in real life for them to hold on to that reminds them of like just humanity and just doing stuff. I even saw on TikTok that on the Chuck E. Cheese machines, it's like a digital version. It's no longer like the ticket machines that would just vomit out all those tickets. But that's like core memories. Like you need to battle the machine to get the tickets. And if you take it away, like what do you got? You got a digital machine that's soulless. Wait, where is it? Ew, why is he so ugly? Ew. Yuck, he's ugly. Oh, hell no. That would give me nightmares. Okay. No, it's not AI. It's like the digital machine. Where is it? It doesn't give the physical tickets anymore. Why is he so hard to find? Let's see. Let's see. See, look at this. No, they give you a credit card.
What the fuck, man? Get your ass on. Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Like, that's not right. Why is it a credit card and it's Apple Pay too? Like, it just feels soulless. Like, the machine would make certain noise. Like, all the tickets would come out. And you'd just be like, oh my god, I need to catch them all. Like, those are core initiation moments of your childhood. That's like what makes your childhood your childhood. And then they would give you coins as well, and you would like put them in the machine, and they'd like be everywhere. Like, this lady literally says that too, running around with a cup of coins, trying not to spill them was part of the experience. 20,000 likes, you know? And then we had to wait in line as well to get to the toys, and we'd give them all the tickets, and the attendant would look so pissed off, and they would like take forever to count it. And then later on they got a machine that made it easier, but I remember they would have to count it by hand. It was like the most tedious thing for them. And there'd be the longest lines. Oh my god, like, this isn't childhood. So I feel like, again, I'm worried for what's happening with our future generation that are just basically getting robbed of what life can really mean. Like, being online is not the same as browsing at Claire's, or like being in a Chuck E. Cheese with like what I'm gonna say is like the real machines versus like these random Apple Pay machines. Like, I don't even want to go anymore if it's gonna have that Apple Pay. Like, bruh. We don't need it to be digital. We don't need it to be digital. But going back to the Claire's thing, I do feel like they need to rethink how they operate. And they can only innovate so much, you know, like they know their meat and butter. Like, they know they're targeting very young children, and they know their consumer is not actually the children, it's the parents that make that decision on behalf of the child. And yeah, I just can't help but think, but the parents are the ones that were raised with this store. So like, maybe they have some nostalgia and that's why they may buy, but like, nostalgia is like not enough anymore, especially when like things are so expensive. So I think it's just like a change of priorities for like parents and consumers in general to like stay afloat in our everyday lives. And just like the exposure of fast fashion has just like made Temu and Shein like just more appealing. And it's just, why pay so much more if you can get the same quality of stuff somewhere else or way cheaper? And it may come faster because you wouldn't really think Claire's is online, like an online store. You could pick it up, but like when you pick stuff up after you order it online, that's just kind of difficult too. It's a kind of messy process. But yeah. But often enough, I'm like, okay, like, how would they rebrand? If like they rebranded, like, what could they do? They've like worked with influencers, but like, has it been like 10-year-old influencers? Wait, we should look that up. What do Claire's influencers look like? And I feel like they are targeting like the lower income consumers, like the everyday consumers, if they're like in Walgreens and like Walmart. They know we don't got money. Let's see. Where is the Claire's influencer? Okay. I love those baskets. Did you see the basket that she had? My dream was to fill this all up and have my mom pay for it. Like, that was the dream. Like, how could you not dream for that? That was like everything back then. Now we got Labubu's. Oh wait, that's not even a Labubu. But we do got Labubus. I do think it's like a lot of younger people. But as of lately, a lot of like the 20-year-olds have been going to the clothing halls and getting stuff for cheap. I'm gonna take the music off before. Okay, so the closing sale was 4 items for 30% off or 10 items for 50% off. I haven't checked if I have a closing sale in my location in the mall near me, but that's so sad. That's so sad. The total haul was $50. Oh, I just I don't get why. I don't get why they're buying this stuff if they're not gonna actually buy it or like wear it. Like, why buy this if you're not gonna wear it? Because does she normally wear that stuff every day? Oh, that kind of fits her vibe, like the witchy vibe. I just feel like it's gonna lead to over consumerism if we just go to the clothing haul. If we do a clothing haul. R.I.P. Queen, another part of my childhood going away. Had to stop in one last time. Yeah, I think they're just like buying stuff for nostalgia at this point. Like, we don't need like 3 to 5-year-old stuff if we're like 20 years old. So I think it's just like a sentimentality. Looking for cute stuff at Claire's before the close. Aww. This is like legit so sad. Oh, those are so cute, the Hello Kitties. Aww. I don't think those are on sale, are they? See, these are all like little kid stuff. Like, what would adults do wearing this stuff? I could probably make like good Christmas gifts. We should probably go to the Christmas shopping. Let's go to the Christmas shopping. Rings for $1, but I will miss Claire's. Everything is 50 to 75% off in this one. Oh my god, this is so sad though. Everyone in the comments says, no, my childhood. Man, how we gone do our baby's ear piercings now? Oh my god, this person's worse than me with English. I'd be saying the most random stuff on live streams, and this person makes no sense when they make a comment. But that's me too. Man, that's me too. But a lot of people have been saying that they're going more to Sephora. Like, all the kids are going to Sephora, and they want makeup, which is kind of concerning on a whole different level, because now they're chasing like beauty ideals versus like cute plushies. Sephora kids, let's put that in. Let's see what we get. Oh my god, no. Does anyone care about the 7-year-olds in Sephora?
Why do you need all that?
Does anyone care about the 7-year-olds in Sephora? It attracts spiders.
Why do you need all that?
Does anyone care about the...
No. What is this? This is like late stage capitalism raising a child.
Part 2 of Sephora Kid Gone Wild.
Summer Fridays is 25. They have no more. I asked the worker if they have anything similar and a nice shimmery is clear. And then she said yes, something for 22. And I asked, is it a lip balm? She said no. Please, I pinky promise I'll pay.
What is going on? She's fighting the staff to find her a shiny, glittery lip gloss. Oh my god. It's just Sephora is not their demographic. Obviously, they're not going to have like super shimmery 10-year-old lip gloss. No wonder Claire's is dead. Oh my god. All the baby Karens are going to Sephora. What are the parents doing? Why? Don't take them to Sephora. Take them to Claire's. Like, it's so much easier to find what you actually want. This girl doesn't have to crash out.
What?
What?
Part 2 of Sephora.
Oh my gosh, she was legit crashing out. And she did all this by herself. Like, her parents were waiting for her outside of the store, knowing how she is, and she comes back with that face like, oh, I'm about to get him. I've done all this stuff, now I'm about to get him. She, like, harassed the staffer to get what she wanted. Oh my god. And she legit made her 2 brothers wait for her, and her parents. Now, I know parents want to do the gentle parenting thing, but this is a whole level of gentle. I would have yanked that girl out of that freaking store and been like, we're going home. You're going home. And how do you not realize you're harassing staff? How do the parents not realize that your daughter's harassing staff? That's what I meant to say. Like, how are they just waiting for her outside and letting her do whatever? Like, she's like 7 years old. Oh my god. This music is so loud. I'm so sorry. Bro, they're in there. No wonder Claire's is dead. I don't even use makeup like that. I don't even know how to use makeup in general. I'm like legit crashing out. Bruh, what?
Mini glow recipe like blueberry cleanser and stuff.
I don't know. I'm gonna go check for you, okay? I actually don't have it in stock. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you for being so polite, you guys. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you.
You have the...
What the hell is going on? So, what's going on here? It seems like is these bratty kids are harassing the employers, and it's now normal. Or employees, not employers, employees. Let's go back to Sephora with my 9-year-old. Bro, what the fuck is going on?
Are you ready for your second trip? Why are we coming in here today?
Because I want to.
But why?
Because I'm happy.
But you have a budget of what? Look at me. What's your budget?
I forgot.
You get 2 lip glosses, 1 perfume. Do not run. Be respectful and go.
Bro, I don't even have money for food. Can you imagine being a parent of a 7-year-old that wants to go to Sephora? I've legit never bought anything at Sephora. I've never been to a Sephora and bought something. You know what I do? I like product watch. I just look at the products, test them out, and be like, oh, so pretty. And I walk away. If I, a 28-year-old, have survived without Sephora, I think a 7-year-old does not even have to enter the freaking building in the first place. Like, is this childhood now? Being swamped with beauty expectations? I don't think this is healthy in any level for these poor children.
I don't even want to tell you.
Extra light.
We are not doing it. You already know. Yes, you can have that one. Let me see it. So excited. Oh, Ruby, I want to get this one. Can we share it? Yes?
Can we share it? Girl, you're the parent. What do you mean, can we share it? And then a comment literally says, brain rot. Another one says, girl, take her to Claire's. Another one says, get her some Littlest Pet Shop. OMG. Bring back childhood. Oh my god, what is this generation? That's crazy, someone says. I remember EOS lip balms were the obsession at that age. Not Dior lip oils. Dior at 9 years old? Wait, she gets Dior?
So we're going to get the Summer Fridays lip oil.
If I only get one, can I get something else?
No, we're getting this one and that one. Pick one of the Summer Fridays.
Mom.
What did we say?
I'm getting one of them.
Bro, if that was my mom, I would have been whooped already. She would have dragged me out. She would have yanked my braids and been like, get the fuck out of here right now. She did not mess with me. That lady did not mess with me. She would like yell at you in front of everyone and be like, you need to calm down or I'm going to beat your ass. That was my mom in Spanish. So I was kind of looking that way. But this girl, that's a whole level of bratty.
Which one? Pick one. Let me see. Ooh, I like that one.
Wait,
Are you guys going to restock on this? How much more worse does this get? Jesus Christ, these poor workers. They're barely making like what, $16, $17 an hour? Oh my god.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We might have some in our shipment because we're still going through it, but we wouldn't know till like later on today.
Okay. Ruby, you picked everything.
No, I didn't.
Absolutely not.
I only got 2 things.
What did we talk about with skincare? Thank you. Thank you for putting it back.
No, yeah, she doesn't need gentle parenting. She needs to leave the store. Yeah, she's done. If that was my daughter, I would be like, yeah, you're not going in there. I'm sorry. You're not going in there at all. Oh my god. Wait, that's Dior. That's literally Dior. Girl, get her away from that. Oh my god, I'm getting like bothered. What happened to the American Girl dolls? No.
Good. I love your shirt. So cute.
We got the Sol de Janeiro, the Summer Fridays, and what is this? The Dior Cherry.
You want to help you, sweetie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, she helped us.
I forgot the other girl, but she didn't help us. She just told us where it was. I need to restock on my Dior lip gloss.
She needs to restock on the Dior lip gloss. Oh my god. Late stage capitalism has rotted these poor kids' brains. Get her off the phone.
What did you get?
Which is the little links.
I got this.
Uh-huh.
And I got this.
Summer Fridays.
And I got this, which I
You
switched.
stocked up on those. And what did Mama get?
This, which I got.
Oh, but you got it.
So the kid got that one first before even the mom. Yeah, I think the mom needs to reevaluate her relationship and her strategy and like raising this poor kid. No, that girl is oh my god, what is this? There's so many of them too. Like we could be here all day. It's not to trash on these poor kids. It's like I'm like genuinely like surprised. Like I'm speechless. I'm genuinely speechless of what I'm watching.
What do you think I'm going to say to you? No. Correct. Goodbye.
Now
What do you
that, now that's a mom. Now that's a mom. A comment says, as an no. I've been infiltrated. Where to go? Where to go?
What do you
It says, as an Ulta employee, thanks so much. I have too many kids coming into my store, either with or without parents, wanting to buy retinol and eye creams. Oh no. No. Oh my gosh. Imagine them actually putting retinol on their skin when they're still like in development. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. What is happening in this world? No wonder Claire's couldn't stand a chance. Jesus Christ. And then if you look at Claire kids, I feel like that's a whole different version of a kid.
What's up, y'all? Come with me to get to my favorite store, Claire's. I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm so excited they have so much Stitch stuff. Which bag should I get? I just love Claire's so much. They had so much Easter stuff and even St. Patty's Day. Well, I'm getting these, Now I'm going to the keychains, because I love keychains. Which one should I get? They even have little notebook ones. More earrings, because I love accessories. And
She does seem a bit younger compared to the other girl that we saw. But look at her. She seems like the same age.
Together. Come with me to get my best friend her birthday present. How much is this? How much is this? How much is this?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh.
This is cute. Comes like with a little pen. 20.
20. Jesus.
Glitter eyeshadow and lip gloss. Not bad, 17. This is an option. They're adorbs. It's another little makeup set. $25.
Even she's price conscious, and this video was done last month. Yeah, I think they're really used to Temu prices.
Oh my gosh, she would love this. 25. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. 15. Not bad. Oh, these are cute. It's a lip balm. $5. This is so cute. Printed stuff. She also is a big fan of chokers. She would love these. Doesn't really like dark colors though. Oh, that's cute. 15. I'm very picky. These are cute. How much are these? Because she loves.
So as you can see the huge difference in like the products. Like it's more so like kids' toys, plushies, little accessories. It's not like legit makeup. So I do think Claire's has been forfeited. No, they have just not been able to keep up with like the change that kids have been experiencing. Like being a kid nowadays means being online so much that I think appearances just takes a toll on their brain, and they want to keep up and they want to post their photos and they want to like stay on trend. So I don't think kids have gone anywhere. I don't think it's like about the piercings. I just think that kids have different priorities right now, and that's like makeup and like looking a certain beauty ideal. So I wonder if they did rebrand, like how would they rebrand? Would they offer more makeup? Would they become a bit more Gen Z oriented? But from what I've seen on other videos, it's mostly like 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds that mostly go there. If you're like 10 years old, you're kind of like aging out of Claire's, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I just am really curious how Claire's is going to be innovative in midst of fast fashion. It's just right now you can't really make a lot of money being a retail based company. Like look at like Party City, you look at Forever 21, you look at all these other companies, you know, that were staples in our past, especially if you're like within the 90s kid, if you're like a 90s kid, like you know these stores. Like you knew Claire's, you knew Party City, you knew Forever 21. So I just don't think that they stand a chance when we have so much cheap stuff on Temu. It's so sad of a reality. It's just like how will they like actually keep up though if they have to pay all this rent money? Yeah, my God. Imagine if we come to the future and it's, you know what I envision? So I envision like trying to imagine the future, and I see this like vision or like this little image of like walking down the street or walking down a neighborhood, and there's legit no retail stores. There's like no physical stores. It's all online. And we put on our like glasses, and that's how we shop. We put on our like tech glasses, right? And we like just press the buttons in the air, and that's our reality. I feel like that's kind of like where we're heading. Even if I don't want that to happen, I do feel like in the future we're just going to have less physical spaces and it's more going to be online. But I mean, I do think we need more of those initiation phases for our children to like feel like they're now an adult or now a teenager or now like in a certain age bracket or experience certain things to like mark some change in their life. Otherwise, they're like trying to enter adulthood at like 10 years old. And I don't think that's healthy in any. Did I mess up my camera again? Oh my God, I messed it up again. And I fixed it again. Okay, so to move on, I do want to talk about how there has been some union disputes within Gucci. Let's look on YouTube to see if there's anything. Also, it's like so humid out. It's crazy. It's like 90 degrees out. Oh, you know what? It just stopped raining, so it's humid. Okay, let's see. I don't see anything about Gucci and their disputes with their union, which is problematic because we do need to know about the union that's happening in Gucci. Let's see. I don't see anything. Okay, nope, I don't see anything. Okay, so Routers and Women's Wear Daily have covered it, and also the Ethos has covered it. So we'll take a look at this one. But basically, there's been labor disputes within this high fashion group. So let's definitely take a listen and find out what is going on, because you can't assume that just because a luxury brand is a luxury brand means that they actually care about what's going on with others.
Gucci faces strike threats in Italy and mounting criticism over exotic skins, revealing deeper tensions across luxury fashion's labor and sustainability fronts. Employees at Gucci in Italy have declared a state of unrest, signaling potential strike action after the fashion house reportedly refused to honor a welfare bonus that had been assured for 2025 under the agreement covering 2022 through 2024. Roughly 1,000 retail and logistics staff across Italy participated in the action, representing a serious escalation in industrial tensions. The union's Jill, Fiskatsis, and Yultux warned that further steps could follow if negotiations do not progress. In their joint statement, the unions declared that Gucci had previously promised the welfare bonus and claimed the accord remained in force despite the absence of a new contract. They allege the company is now seeking to tie the benefit to a broader review of incentive schemes, a move they find unacceptable. As the unions put it, the company has only wasted precious time, making a mockery of the workers who dedicate themselves daily in stores and have been waiting, and continue to wait, for the welfare payment. Gucci, headquartered in Florence and a cornerstone of the Kering luxury group, has endured declining sales in recent years. Ointment statement. The unions declared that Gucci had previously promised the welfare bonus and claimed the accord remained in force despite the absence of a new contract. They allege the company is now seeking to tie the benefit to a broader review of incentive schemes, a move they find unacceptable. As the unions put it, the company has only wasted precious time, making a mockery of the workers who dedicate themselves daily in stores and have been waiting, and continue to wait, for the welfare payment. Gucci, headquartered in Florence and a cornerstone of the Kering luxury group, has endured declining sales in recent years. That downturn has compounded pressure on the entire conglomerate, now banking its recovery on new CEO Luca De Meo. Courtesy. Gucci's internal dispute unfolds against a backdrop of mounting scrutiny over sustainability, ethical sourcing, and labor rights across the fashion industry. Similar tensions have emerged internationally as brands navigate competing pressure from workers and activists alike. Last year, PETA activists held banners reading "Gucci, ban wild animal skins" outside the brand's store on Moultrie's Walk in Edinburgh, demanding the end of reptile skin usage in luxury accessories. Every wild animal skin accessory, from wallets and bags to belts and watch straps, comes from a terrified animal who was beaten, tortured, and skinned, sometimes while still conscious, PETA Vice President Mimi Bekechi said in a statement. She added that PETA is calling on Gucci to do right by animals by shedding reptile and other exotic skins. Worker action in the luxury sector is rare but meaningful, especially given brands' typically powerful global profiles. Gucci's dispute echoes previous protests at similar houses, though few have escalated to strike declarations. Retail and logistics staff often fall outside of public view, yet they sustain the daily operations of global flagships. Italy's labor laws define a state of unrest as a preliminary step to formal strikes. It obliges the company and unions to engage before escalation. With about 1,000 employees now mobilized, the issue enters a critical phase where delays or unresolved negotiations may force broader industrial action. Gucci's hesitation to pay the welfare bonus reflects broader dilemmas facing luxury brands under pressure to cut costs and overhaul. UXI, ban wild animal skins.
Okay, so I think we got to the point of what's going on. Yeah, there's just been a lot of history of damage in this brand, and even if we do think it's like, oh, such a great brand because it's a luxury brand, doesn't mean that we should act like it's that. You know, just because it's a luxury brand doesn't mean we should act like it brings value or like it's worthwhile our attention. When it's not, it's just I feel like a brand. It's just a random brand. My God, my golly. Now, this one doesn't really go that much into detail. It just says that the main unions are Philcam, Siegel, Fizes, Cat, Sizzle, and Utilitux. I don't really know why they're spelled like that, but it's Italy, man. They're built different. I wonder if there's anything online to learn about them. Let's see. I think it's just all in Italian if you pull anything up, huh? Yeah, it's all in Italian. But they're based in Florence, which is so interesting. And they're not making that much money like they did in the past. I feel like it's because there's so many copies that we just have seen it as like the cheap version of luxury fashion. Let's look up cheap Gucci fakes in New York and you'll know what I'm talking about. Finding fake bags in New York City. Okay, so they're walking, fake bag heaven. Bag. Dior, Fendi, Gucci. Oh, you always see Gucci as like a fake one. Baggy bags. Look at all the bags. See Gucci right there. Saw the fake Gucci's. Did you see it in the corner? It was right there. See? Right there. Right there. Oh my God, there's so many. Oh my God. It's bag heaven. Oh my gosh. Louis Vuitton, Marc Jacobs. All of them you could ever imagine right here. For the fraction of a price. My dream is to one day buy a fake luxury fashion bag. This one costs, okay, so this one costs $460 at the Gucci outlet. Oh my God, they're so expensive. No, full prices, $1,500. Jesus Christ, why are they so expensive? No wonder people are buying them out on the streets of New York. Wait, is this kid getting one? Oh, hell no.
I had to get my first Gucci bag.
We're at the airport.
And Gucci.
Honey,
Wait, why do the parents act like they're so confused when she's the one that's going to pay for it? At the airport? No, that's crazy. Is there anything actually in that bag? Well, I don't think there's actually anything in the bag. They didn't show the bag. Like the actual bag. They just show the shopping one. Oh, so funny. So funny. A walkthrough in Chinatown Gucci bag vendors in New York City. Ooh, give us some more.
This is a walk through Chinatown in New York City. It is a walk filled with Chinese and African migrants selling Gucci bags with and without catalogs, watches and wallets.
Gucci!
The streets and sidewalks of Broadway and Canal Streets in New York City.
it's nice.
$50. Oh, Pepe Gala. Louis Vuitton. Wow, people are actually buying stuff. Oh my god, it's like literally filled up. Like the street is busy and there's a lot of people. What the hell? I like the blue one that I saw on the floor somewhere. I didn't show it again. Oh my gosh. Gucci! The man just bought some Gucci. Oh my god. If they get arrested, uh-oh. Uh-oh. More Louis Vuitton. Oh my god. I didn't realize it was this crowded. Like, people are actually buying stuff. What? Some fake Apple headphones? Wow. They're like caking this stuff. Interesting. Oh my gosh, she keeps swerving the camera left and right. It's giving me a headache. Where is she filming? Okay, let's just fast forward. Let's fast forward it. I don't think she's actually filming anything. Okay. What? Oh my gosh, what is this video? Let's fast forward. Okay. Okay, well that gives us an idea. Is there any other video like this? Chinatown Gucci vendor. What the hell? New York shop owner allegedly fakes 40 million worth of Gucci Chanel. NBC New York. Ooh, she went to prison. Okay, so here's another one. New York City views of street vendors selling imitation designers along Canal Street.
Your father knows
in
about
Chinatown.
saving money. Everything.
Okay, so it's happening in Chinatown on Canal Street. Take notes, people, if you want to go.
I'm here on Broadway between Howard Street and Canal Street. Let's check out the street vendors. Hola mi gente, estoy aquí en la calle de Howard, en Broadway, en la calle de Howard. Y...
Oh, we gotta go that way too, but no, your hat is...
Estamos en la calle de Howard, en Broadway. Vamos a ver los vendedores lo que están vendiendo aquí.
No face, brother, no face.
Sorry.
All right.
Tight squeeze.
All right, so let's walk and let's see what they're selling.
Sorry. No, I can't.
I'll get back to you. Yeah, can I get back to you too?
I really like this one. This is what I saw the last time in the different video. It's like this blue one. It's so pretty. I love these ones. I love this one and I love this one. I feel like if I had been there, I would have grabbed this one and this one, to be honest. And they're Dior. They're so pretty. And honestly, like, how do you even know if they're real or not if you look at them from like away, from afar? Like far away, like you won't tell which one is legit, which one is not. If there's like no obvious like design flaws and it looks similar to the original and you're not really aware of the brand, like anyone else can be like, oh, that's real, when it's not. And you save so much money. Now, I am, I guess, a proponent for buying imitation just because it is a better option for those with less money. But like brands like Dior and Gucci and Louis Vuitton are making millions and millions and millions off of this idea that, oh, their stuff is better just based off of like the vibe, like the ethos of like wear luxury. but the products are not even made ethically. They're having problems with their union. So even if you want to make the right choice, you're not really making a right choice buying the real one because the money doesn't go towards anything good. It's just for the pockets of the executives.
Look at all the people that are here trying to get a bargain over here with the street vendors. Mira toda la gente que hay aquí. Tratando de coger un buen precio por las carteras aquí. Aquí la gente viene y hacen negocio con esta gente aquí. They negotiate like the prices of the purses that could go anywhere from $25 to $75. Alright, so let's keep walking. Vamos a ir caminando. Alright, so you can see all those people on Saturday down here.
Which one?
Okay. I think we got the picture here. It's very dizzying to watch film. I think it's just like chaotic because everyone is like going and shopping and like it's just so much people everywhere. And I do think the police knows that this is happening. Like I think they're all aware that this is going on. It's just it's so interesting that they haven't shut it down and it just continues to happen. I do wonder like the history of this area and like why this all began to be gathered on Canal Street, specifically in Chinatown. I wonder what sort of relationships they have with like the police officers. But honestly, I'm not surprised that Gucci has been losing money and not making sales like they have in the past when there's so much imitation happening. And when there's like more distrust in fashion brands, given how their supply chain is getting more and more exposed because we're so online and like we have so much more access to information than compared to in the past. So like we could easily find this on Canal Street in Chinatown. So the appeal of like buying something for like the original price and like say it's real, I mean, that in itself is its own privilege, but I do think that we just need more to these brands than just like the logo or the aesthetic. Imagine if all luxury fashion brands were made artisanally or like actually made with respect or with like ethics or like with sustainability. I think maybe more people would be likely to buy from these brands, but because there isn't anything to prove that they're doing this correctly, it's just another brand. And I feel like luxury fashion is slowly and surely losing its appeal worldwide. And they continuously prove to us that they don't care about their workers. Like, they're having so many problems with their unions. Like, it's escalating. There's industrial tensions. Like, bro, what is happening in the industry? Like, no matter if you're a fast fashion brand or a luxury brand, like everyone just wants to make money. They mock their workers. They use them. They don't respect them. They don't even give them their freaking benefits, like their basic benefits that they've earned through their work. And yet they still have the audacity to sell us like a $2,000 bag. And there is going to be a new, CEO. There's going to be new leadership. But the thing is, like, Luca de Meo, how do we guarantee that he's going to care about his workers? How will he react to the union? How will he make sure that he actually does the right thing? Now, I think it's up to his own judgment and his own relationships with like the board members or like whatever leadership structure there is. I do think that's going to be up to their judgment and their own discretion. But again, luxury fashion is not recession proof. Like, I do think that cutting workers' benefits for a major luxury brand is very telling of where they stand in terms of worker rights. And it's really not helping them whatsoever in any means. Like, you know how good of a PR move it would be to like actually say we care about our workers, and like be the example, but they're not. So I'm not really that I'm optimistic that luxury fashion is gonna do the turnaround it needs to like actually make well crafted goods. But ideally, I would want to see it happen, and like ideally, I would want to see like retail workers stop being exploited to basically keep the brand alive in some way. To be like, yeah, like we're the difference. We're the ones that actually care. We're the ones that actually want to do something in the industry that's impactful versus just like what everyone else is doing, which is grabbing a quick buck, you know? But yeah, I mean, I kind of low key want something from this Canal Street. Like, I want to get something for 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks. Like, this just looks, you know, legit enough. It looks good enough. Why buy the real thing? It's so crowded though, but it's just very crowded. Oh, and then another thing that I saw is that how there's Shein pop-ups in the old Forever 21 stores, which is crazy.
Ladies, I'm trying to do my work today. Leave me alone type shift.
Shake your dress.
Ladies.
It's literally your competitor eating you up. They literally ate their competitors. And look at the workers were dancing. Look at those Shein workers. How much were they being paid? Like, what is going on? Shein men? The thing is, like, we're so desperate for community, we're so desperate for meaning, that this is what has come of our society. Like, there is no third space. There's nothing besides work and nothing outside of family. And if you're in college, you're kind of lucky because you have that, like, community space with people in the same boat as you. But this is just dystopian. And Shein literally being where the old Forever 21 is just an indication that Shein is relentless and that brands need to be careful about how they navigate, because it's almost telling right now, like, if you don't become like Shein, you're going to be eaten by Shein. Oh. And everyone's like, aren't they the same company? Well, yeah, no, but like they're fast fashion. Shein is the new discovery. Oh, that's an interesting take. And then this one says, I mean, Forever 21 did take Shein returns. They must have had a partnership already. Yeah, I think that needs to be studied. I've never studied that before. That's so interesting. The Forever 21 and Shein pipeline. And Shein and Forever 21 joined a while back, someone else says. So I think they were in cahoots. Someone says, I bought a tankini on Shein and had the Forever 21 tag on it. Oh. I wonder how that worked out. I wonder why Shein didn't, like, try to save them. Yeah, that is a very interesting question. Very interesting question. I wonder what happened. We should look into it, and then that will be one of the final things that we do, because there is not a lot else for me to cover. Yeah. Oh, there is. Jesus. Yeah, we'll stay on for a bit more. Let's see. Forever 21 Shein. Let's see. Let's see what pops up. Forever 21 is accepting Shein returns. Shein's return policy. Forever 21 coupons. What? This was this was like a year ago. It's ads. It's the ads.
Come on, let's go to Forever 21 to return some Shein stuff. So long story short, I was minding my own business, scrolling on TikTok, and came across Sus who dropped this tea. Well, why y'all didn't say?
Okay.
I bet you did not know you could return all your Shein stuff to Forever 21. And the best part about it is that when you return your clothes to Forever 21, they're going to give you a discount to use in Forever 21 that day. This is from the Shein website, and it tells you how to do it. Sign into your Shein account, go to your orders, go to your order details, return the item, select your return method, and right here it lets you know, or drop off your return items and select Forever 21 stores. I would 100% call my store and make sure they do it in the store, but most stores are doing it, so it should be fine. And they are going to give you a QR code. Okay, so when you go to return it, it's just going to be the same thing as if you was going to return a Forever 21 item. It's not like hard. Just bring the QR code, and you have to bring it within 35 days. And also make sure that all the stuff is in the original bags. Those bags that we like to use for nonsense, those bags have barcodes on it, which is the item's tag. So you want to make sure that you have the item in the original bag. So I bet you did not know you could return all your Shein stuff to Forever 21. And the best part about it is that when you return your clothes to Forever 21, they're going to give you a discount to use in Forever 21 that day.
That's so interesting. I do wonder, like, what this contract looked like internally, because there is so much turnover.
Absolutely devastated. Forever 21 is responsible for so many amazing yet horrendous outfits. Going out top need, a random mini skirt.
I feel like it introduced us to fast fashion and we didn't even know.
We didn't have Shein, okay, back in the day. We had Forever 21. So personally, I think it's a huge loss. Absolutely devastated. Forever 21 is responsible for...
That's such an interesting take. But I do think Shein was like the one that introduced fast fashion. Like, I don't think we realized what fast fashion was until we saw like the really bad examples. It doesn't, no one here is talking about the interconnection between, okay, fast fashion giants, Shein and Forever 21 to partner. Let's see what this is about.
Two fast fashion brands, they've partnered up. Shein and Forever 21 announced today that Shein will acquire about a third of Forever 21's operator, which is the Spark Group. This paves the way for Shein to start selling Forever 21 clothing on its site. In turn, Forever 21 will now have access to Shein's 150 million customers.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Either.
Shein, as a result of that, has become one of the largest fast fashion brands in the U.S., valued at more than, get this, $66 billion.
Wow.
And I really hadn't even heard of it until like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, and most news people use it because we don't wear the same outfit.
Exactly.
Twice.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, so Shein bought them out. A comment says, damn, Shein taking everyone's customers. And then he goes on to explain this in an interview on CNBC. I had no idea.
You told me this was the most transformational deal to hit fashion in the last 10 years. Why do you think that is?
Because, you know, how fast they deliver and the way their supply chain works between the vendors, okay, the suppliers, and when I say vendors and suppliers, the fabric makers, and then the designers, and then the sewer. Like it's for us, we design something here in New York City, then we send it over, okay, to one of our factories. Our factory makes us a sample. They send it back. We approve it, and 6 months later, we deliver it. They do it all in 7 days.
Yeah, they changed the game.
Okay, they've changed the game.
I wonder if he knew he was like done for once he saw Shein. He was like, yeah, we can't compete with them. We might as well let him buy the brand. Look at, he's like, yeah, we ate him up. He seems a bit like trying not to talk, but like when your competitor says we partnered with them because we saw how fast they did things, and you're like pressing your lips together, you kind of know like he has secrets and he like has a lot to say, but is not going to say it because This man is already explaining everything for him.
And if we can actually do that across our portfolio, I mean, we're going to know what you want when you want it. And, you know, I don't want to bring up waste, but they run with 2% inventory. Okay, we run with a lot more than that at Spark. So I truly believe it's going to change the game from a markdown standpoint, okay, from an inventory standpoint, from a cash flow standpoint, working capital. There's just so many things that are going to change because of this relationship. So yes, I do believe it's changing the game of retail. And I think that other retailers are going to have to learn what Shein's doing if they want to compete, because they're just faster and better understanding the customer.
Well, we're always looking at customers, the consumer first. You know, whatever consumer want, that we'll try to give it to them. You know, we want to go deeper, go wider, and broader. And by the way, you know, when David was mentioning Indiana, we also have a big warehouse, a big hub there in Whitestown. Indiana have quite a few hundred, perhaps going to be thousands of workers there.
I think that what's really important is, look, I'm a brand guy, and I can honestly say that when I study brands, if you could say, you know, how many brands do you know are strictly an e-commerce brand and only an e-commerce brand? They're not a physical brand. My guess is maybe you can name one, maybe you can name two, but you probably can't name
You have to be both.
that you'd be successful. At the same time, I don't think you could name a single brand that is only in physical retail and not digital. So I think that this partnership is incredibly important because it does give physical to Shein to test and actually build physical retail and give that experience to the consumer. At the same time, it gives us the ability to do a lot more digital retail because let's be honest, they have the fastest, best digital platform on the planet right now, and nobody is remotely close to how good they are when it comes to digital retail.
But Jamie, isn't it a risk?
Yeah, Forever 21 knew that they were essentially cooked. And they were like, we'll join them for the piece of the pie that they're going to give us and go down with a lot of money. I think that's what happened. Now looking at this, I'm kind of not surprised anymore. This is kind of making sense now. It's almost like they expected this to happen. It was almost like a planned fall.
Ladies, I'm trying to do my work today. Leave me alone type shift.
Shake your dress.
Ladies.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Dang. And I also saw some more stuff over here too with the Forever 21 stores being used by Shein, because there's like pop-ups. There's like pop-up stores everywhere that I've been looking at. Let's see. Where was it? Shein pop-ups in the mall. That's what I've been seeing recently. Pop-ups mall. Let's see. See, okay, look at this. Shein pop-up in Atlanta.
Adivinen que aquí en Atlanta hay la tienda Shein, la tienda presencial. Pero lo que no cuentan es que...
Oh my god, there's a line. Why is there a party? I feel like this needs to be studied. They're all being invited in by dancing. I feel like this would be my worst nightmare because I have like social anxiety. No. What is going on? How much are they paying them? Shein Curve? Shein Women? Shein Men? They give them a legit bag? Oh my gosh. What is going on? How much are they paying them? What is... I'm legit speechless, and it's busy in there. What? Wait, what is going on with this mannequin? What is going on with this mannequin? Look, who has seen these sort of mannequins before? What are those mannequins? It has a wooden arm. Did they just add those on there? Oh god, that is so ugly. What the hell was that? They got she glam? I didn't know they got makeup attendants. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Unos nomás. Me encantó.
Me encantó.
Pero básicos. Esto, básico.
Ay,
Esto
no.
me regalaron por la compra. Me regalaron otro bolsito. Aquí nos vamos felices.
They basically gifted her 2 bags.
Con nuestra bolsita. Camino, regresando a casa. Con nuestra bolsita de Shein. Bye.
Oh my god.
Oh, it is deep at the Perimeter Mall right now. What is this for Shein? Oh my gosh. The line is like half the mall. Bro just told me there was a 4-hour wait to get into the Shein this morning. It's a pop-up until the 10th. Y'all gotta get out to check it out.
4-hour wait? I'd be dead before then.
Shein this morning. It's a pop-up until the 10th. Y'all gotta get out to check it out in Perimeter. Seeing people still come to the mall though brings me faith to humanity. Oh, it is.
Oh my god, there are so many things wrong with this video. His faith in humanity is restored because we went to the freaking mall. Oh my god. Atlanta? What is happening in Atlanta? Are people that bored?
Deep at the Perimeter Mall right now. What is this for Shein?
Shein?
Oh my gosh. The line is like half the mall. Bro just told me there was a 4-hour wait.
4-hour wait is crazy.
Y'all got to be motherfucking lying to me. This is that Shein pop-up shop that they're having at the Perimeter Mall here in Atlanta. And you will not nan day catch me standing in line this long. These people been out here for 40 days and 40 nights. And like the people at the end of the line, y'all never going to get in. Y'all got...
One comment says, the people that do this need to be studied. They do. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm in disbelief. Like, how much are they paying these people?
Oh. Baby, the line is packed. The line is packed, child. Okay, I thought I got here early. It's 10:13. It opened at 11. Child, just that fast. Madness. We was waiting so long, they started doing line dances. Welcome to Atlanta.
All right. Okay, let's study the area because maybe they'll give us some clues on like why this is happening. So it's happening in Perimeter Mall, Atlanta. Let's look at whether they're low income or what. Atlanta, Georgia is within this demographic. Okay, let's see. Why would they choose this? Perimeter Mall is a shopping mall in Georgia, Atlanta. And it's different than other shopping malls in Atlanta because it's much busier than most and has current retail stores. It has upscale restaurants and salons. It has valet parking and sits within the region called Perimeter. And it can be accessed by a station as well. So, let's see. Okay, that's all that it says there, but very popular mall. Has 150 retailers. Now, Shein does things very strategically, so when it comes to like doing pop-ups, there must be some already big interest coming from there, knowing that they have a likely customer base. So for Forever 21 to be in that space beforehand and then for them to have a huge line, 4-hour wait to get in, just says that they made their research and they like implemented it really well. 10:15 in Atlanta and the Shein pop-up store line is out of the door. No. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, more fast fashion brands are like getting more strategic and than ever before because I saw how Opoly, which is like this fast fashion brand, now uses AI pricing with this company called Seven Learnings. And they went on to explain that it simulates pricing scenarios to predict damage or demand changes and optimize prices dynamically based on business goals, which is crazy. Because like now prices will change within fast fashion brands. Like no longer will the prices stay the same at whatever time. Like now it's actively changing as it depends on when you look at it. Okay, let's see. It doesn't say anything here. Oh, Polly, no one else is talking about it. But let's go to this news article. But basically, it says that Opoly will basically be an example of a modern digital brand that will be using data and pricing science. Oh my gosh. And if you don't know what Opoly is, they're basically headquartered in Glasgow, Liverpool, London, Los Angeles, Dhaka, and Guangzhou. But yeah, slowly and surely, AI, I think, is going to be taking over a lot of different things within the industry, and we just have to kind of like wait to see what happens. But I do think I'm going to end off with this news where like New York has been grappling a lot with zoning and rezoning, and that can affect a lot of the garment industry and possibly take away the industry in general if the zoning happens. And it's concerning because a lot of workers need their job, and we should be preserving the garment industry. But when there's like greedy landlords, when there's ambitious billionaires and millionaires wanting a piece of the pie in New York, then the garment district isn't really that prioritized. So let's take a look at this article by Our Town, New York. Our Town, New York, New York.
Even the 34th Street bus will get across town faster. The proposed rezoning of Midtown South, the old garment district around Penn Station, is so extensive that it deals with everything from turning factory buildings into housing to shoring up the boutique fashion design industry, which is all that remains in what was once a bustling manufacturing zone. And it kicks cars off 34th Street so the buses can go faster than their current average 5 miles per hour. The plan, known as MSMX for Midtown South Mixed Use, was approved by the City Council Land Use Committee August 6th and comes before the full council Thursday, August 14th. Speaker Adrian Adams said the plan is the largest residential rezoning in New York in 20 years. Its main feature is that it allows residential construction in an area that for generations was zoned for manufacturing, in particular, the garment factories that were a core industry and employer in New York in the 20th century. But those factories are all but gone, and legislators decided that nostalgia was no longer as important as countering the city's severe shortage of housing. We're tackling New York's housing crisis head-on by unlocking over 9,500 new homes in one of the most transit-rich, high-opportunity areas of the city, helping to bring down rents not just in Midtown, but citywide, said Councilmember Eric Botcher. In essence, the plan converts a former factory district where people were not allowed to live, at least not legally, into 46 blocks of multi-use zoning where people, as the planners say, can live, work, and play. In some cases, new apartment buildings will go up. In others, existing structures will be converted. At least 2,800 of the apartments will be permanently affordable, Speaker Adams said. MSMX is the first major housing-focused rezoning in New York City that takes advantage of the changes that City of Yes put into place, and it makes a big step forward in tackling the affordable housing crisis, said Councilmember Keith Powers. We are transforming Midtown South into a vibrant live-work neighborhood, alongside historic community investments in schools, transit, parks, and more. I look forward to the full council approving this rezoning and bringing housing to Midtown. Even though the garment manufacturing industry has been shrinking for years in New York, there was still some political delicacy in showing that the radical rezoning would not come at the expense of the neighborhood's remaining fashion-related businesses. Through the negotiation process, the council secured over $120 million in economic development resources to protect and support the historic fashion and garment industries located in the Garment District, the City Council said in announcing approval of the plan. This area of Midtown is home to legacy industries of fashion, garment manufacturing, and wholesale distribution, with the Garment District remaining a unique cluster of fashion designers, showrooms, wholesalers, and manufacturers that benefit from proximity to each other and the nearby theater district. The support for fashion trades, the council said, include Midtown Made, a state-coordinated campaign to connect businesses to expanded tools, a local production fund to incentivize fashion designers to use local garment manufacturers, investing $50 million in the Greenlight Innovation Fund to help eligible nonprofit organizations secure and develop permanent, below-market space for the garment industry, and a reopening of the Manhattan Commercial Revitalization (MCOR) program. The plan also converts portions of Broadway in the 20s into a pedestrian mall and turns 34th Street, once crowded with garment racks and now just jammed with cars, into a car-free corridor. The goal is to speed up the crosstown bus, which current estimates say can crawl at barely more than 5 miles an hour. To illustrate the benefit of this, local pols and city officials gathered on 34th Street for a race between pedestrians and city buses. Some of the racers rode the bus, others walked. The pedestrians beat the buses by 2 city blocks stretching over a mile. While it is not entirely clear how they did this, since 5 miles an hour is still faster than most people walk, officials hailed the advent of the busway. New Yorkers deserve fast, reliable, and world-class bus service, and that is why Mayor Eric Adams and our administration are building the 34th Street busway to speed up commutes for riders and make this corridor safer and less congested, said NYC's Transportation Commissioner, Idanis Rodriguez. 24%, traffic congestion virtually disappeared, and crashes dropped by 42%. This new busway will prioritize buses and trucks while maintaining local access for pickups, drop-offs, and loading. We're ecstatic that there's going to be a miracle on 34th Street, a car-free busway along the corridor, and a fully pedestrianized Broadway, said Ben Furness, Executive Director of Transportation Alternatives. The Midtown South rezoning proves just how critical new homes, great streets, and reliable transit work are to New York City. The Midtown South rezoning proves just how critical new homes, great streets, and reliable transit work are to New York City. Ben Furness, Executive Director of Transportation Alternatives.
Hopefully within the zoning, they don't ruin the garment industry. I mean, we don't have a lot of garment industries left or garment districts left within the United States because they're all being reduced down to like shells of what it used to because of fast fashion. Now with zoning, I do think it's telling that tenant rights is very much connected to sustainable fashion, and without ensuring that they have, proper zoning, then you can't really ensure there's going to be like sustainable fashion or like a local fashion industry. So like housing rights is very much connected to fashion rights, and it just shows how interconnected everything is. It shows that we can't just like assume that fashion is isolated when it's connected to so many different things. So many people want a piece of the historic fashion and garment industry, and then they're just probably gonna like destroy the buildings. Like, how is it that they want to zone in the garment industry to destroy it? It just would be such a disservice. So we do need to protect it, even if other people don't find value in it. Who cares? But like, we can't get rid of these fashion businesses. Like, where else are we going to have localized fashion sewers or like localized fashion designers? If not in New York, then where? Because most of the time when you're a fashion designer, you kind of dream of being a fashion designer in New York, So if you destroy the garment district, you're destroying the lives and the dreams of so many people. I just genuinely feel bad too for like the fashion designers that are in college, because when they graduate, I don't know where they're going to get a job. If New York's garment district is shrinking, which is like the biggest garment district in the world, where else are they going to work at? I don't get it. I do not get it. Let's see if there's anything that pops up around the garment district rezoning, because this is just looking miserable for us. Garment district, New York. Let's see if anything has popped up that has been recent. Let's see. I'm gonna put 4 to 20 minutes. We're gonna look at upload dates. I don't see nothing. Murder in the garment district. Oh, nope. The grip of organized crime and the decline in the United. What is that? That's not what I'm looking for. Interestingly enough, no one is making videos about the zoning. Where do I get fabrics now? Okay, this was funny.
We're a part of the private equity firm that bought up Joann's and made them close all their stores. Count your fucking days. Because now we have to go into the fucking city to buy fabric, and we have no plan. But hopefully this is going to become a where to buy fabric for cosplayers and artists in the city video, if we find any. We're probably also going to do other shenanigans, so you can skip ahead to timestamp to when we actually go to stores. Let's do this, I guess. It's the last chance to appreciate my makeup and my bangs, because it'll be melted in like 8 seconds.
Bird up.
Classic New York. Sorry, Hans, I gotta appreciate it for my makeup and my bangs. Before we go shopping, we're taking a quick detour to our favorite place in the world. Rice ball. Rice ball. So good. Never had a rice ball or been to I'm Milky.
Okay, so they're just walking. They're walking, and the video keeps glitching. Okay, so they're just looking for fabric. They're not really talking about the zoning. I assumed because they were talking about the collapse of Joann's, they would talk about what's happening in the industry, but it seems like they're not. I'm going to give it one last try, but it's a disservice not to talk about the zoning issues in the garment district, because it is going to heavily affect what happens to the district very soon. Very, very soon. Okay, so I don't see anything here. I don't see anything here. I love it when there's important stuff to talk about and no one else cares. Okay. Well, the good thing is, though, that there is a couple publications that are explaining it and, like, breaking down New York's fashion crisis, because it's connected to the housing crisis, and how it's really essentially prioritizing the rich. And if we're going to be prioritizing the rich, then we're going to be losing basically the illusion of the fashion district or fashion industry that we had in New York. And all the movies going forward, they're just gonna be an illusion, even more so an illusion, if not already an illusion, because like when we like see all these fashion movies, they go to New York and they buy the fabrics in the district, and they dream big of being a designer, but like when reality it's not going to be there anymore if we don't like stop the prioritization of like millionaires and billionaires and like wealthy luxury apartments. So, I mean, it's interesting how there's not a lot of coverage on this, given how much of a prestige the New York district has in general. But when it comes to like quote unquote boring topics, I guess no one wants to like cover it. Um, but I mean, the Vogue business has been covering it, but like that was a while ago in June. The Business of Fashion have been covering it as well. The Washington Post has been briefly shining light on it, but seems like it just has a history of like being under threat from like landlords and like greedy investments. So, um, it's definitely going to be voted on soon, and it's going to continue to be a discussion. And hopefully, those within the area can do more concrete activism, like go to commission meetings, like knock on people's door, bring awareness of this, like get more fashion organizations to like support the preservation of the garment district, because from the outside looking in, like I don't even know how to help. Like no one is covering this. So I just kind of feel powerless in the sense. But like if there's no one really like trying to invite us in to like fight against like toxic zoning policies, then like I can't really do anything, unfortunately. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for like fashion students and like for fashion lovers to like stand up for something and like make their mark in a beneficial and impactful way in the long run, because we literally can't wait. Like we can't wait to just like have this be, solved on its own. Like we actually have to like get our hands dirty, our feet dirty, and like stand up for um the industry that we say we love so much. But other people have been doing like impactful work, like ThriftCon is coming up. I'm not sure if you've heard of ThriftCon, but it's happening in Denver, and basically they're partnering with Tide. This is not sponsored, but I just think it's very interesting how there's like more brands like supporting sustainable fashion, and like connecting the dots of like how sustainable fashion can connect with their products. So for like Tide, like we all know like we have to wash our clothing. So like they're like, "Oh, we'll sponsor this, and in return they have to feature 3,000 pounds of like fresh, vintage, and then they get a free sample of Tide to take home so they can wash their new pickups." So yeah, that's a super interesting partnership, and I'm really happy for them. I have nothing against Tide. And again, we all wash our clothing, so this was very smart, and I just wanted to showcase that. And then to finish off, I do want to jump off and say thanks everyone for jumping on and coming to the live stream. Today was my first live stream after working an official 7 hours beforehand. So I've been up since 6. I went to work and clocked in at 8. I clocked out at 3. I went home. I ate really quickly, and I jumped on to live stream from 4 to 7:14. So I've essentially been working from like 8 to 7 with an hour break. So that's been like, what was it? 3 plus 7. I've been working 10 hours today. So hopefully you enjoy the live stream. I know I was stuttering a lot. I was messing up a lot with explaining things, but I'm only human. And once you work like 10 hours, it's just impossible to like continue to make good quality stuff. So yeah, hopefully everyone has a peaceful Tuesday. I will be back. I will be back on Thursday, and I will be gaming tomorrow from, I think I'm changing the hours to be a bit earlier so I can fall asleep a bit earlier, because I do wake up so early. So I think I'm going to change the live stream from 8 to 10 versus like 9 to 11. So yeah, I'll be streaming some games tomorrow from 8 to 10. And I'll also be streaming some gaming again Friday, 8 to 10. But these normal news segments will be from 4 to 7. So I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday. Basically streaming every day except Saturday and Monday. I just realized that. Cool. But yeah, I'll see you guys. Take care. Hopefully you enjoy the live stream. Bye. See you tomorrow. See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya.